What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another evening of 30 NSG. On tonight's episode, it's a little different. We're going to be covering the news stories because I missed this morning show because family was in town. I had my birthday weekend, had my dad's birthday today. So we're going to cover the news stories this evening so I can catch up and have the normal stories starting tomorrow back on the normal schedule. So I appreciate it. What's going on, chat? What's going on, El Nini, Eclipse, Dark Taco, PL, Water Bear? Good evening. Good evening. I almost said good morning. Good evening. Z, what's going on? Who am I missing? Shiny Red Flag, hello, welcome. Watasbo, good evening. Argus, good evening. I also changed up a couple things. I got rid of the pop filter, so it might sound a little different. I also got a new arm for my my microphone, so it's coming out from a different spot. So a little couple things different. So if the microphone sounds a little different, let me know. We'll try to adjust as we go. I appreciate it, Eclipse. So on tonight's show, we're going to talk about, we have an article from Forbes called Xbox Game Pass is running out of wells to dig up new subscribers. So we'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about former Helldivers 2 lead writer Burnt Out Hard. And he talks about what he went through. We're going to talk about why Xbox believes it must cut cost and close studios. I'm going to give you my thoughts about Marvel's Rivals. I played about 3.5 hours of it, and I'll tell you why what I think about it, good or bad, because I didn't have to sign anything. And that was a cluster, another cluster. What's going on, Jones? So we'll talk about that as well. We also have a video we'll watch about one of the other content creators about 4 days ago. Talked about Noisy Boy. Talked about the Marvel Rivals leaked, about the other characters coming out. So we'll talk about that as well. The mic sounds great, even off access. So no popping. Sweet. I'm gonna try to also not get so close. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna try to keep my distance. 45 and still gaming. Technically 46. 46 and still gaming. Let's see what else we got. And then also a couple of other like small little news stories. If we get to those, like we're talking about Ubisoft news. Tom Warren talks about the new president that they were announced for Sony, active June 1st. So lots of stuff happening. So let's get started. Let's get started with the news stories. Those of you that are new to my channel, what we do here is we read the stories for the first time right on air. So I read the stories live with you guys, and then I give you my thoughts and opinions on those, and we have conversation back and forth, and then we make breakout videos of those to put up on YouTube later. So that's what we do. All right, so let me bring up Paul Tassi has an article called Xbox Game Pass is running out of wells to dig up new subscribers. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday, usually from 10 o'clock in the morning to about noon Eastern, but this evening, as of May 13th, we're doing it in the evening to catch up because we didn't have a show in the morning. But if you like what we do here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do appreciate you for coming out and hanging out with us. All right, so Xbox Game Pass is running out of wells to dig up new subscribers. Now, with Microsoft's long list of poor messaging and poor decisions this week, combined with rumors of behind-the-scenes problems with some of the top games and frequent points of keeps up coming up, is how much it weighs and also been thrown behind Xbox PC Ultimate Game Pass. Now, the crux of the argument is great for players. Subscribers to Game Pass get the first-party Xbox games for free indefinitely, plus loads of other games if you own the Xbox. There's little reasons to not get Game Pass given the vast catalog it offers. Now, Game Pass is also positively rocking up its subscriptions during the COVID era when the mass lockdowns were also causing surges of boredom and turned into game spending. But those big reports numbers ended at 25 million subscribers in January of 2022. It took 2 years later for Microsoft to report new numbers at 34 million. Now, but that growth figure has caveats, namely unclear classifications of the conversation of the Xbox Game Pass core, formerly the Xbox Live Gold members, as part of that count. And how much of gain was due to the new Game Pass subscribers. To this day, it still has not been revealed how exactly things were broken down inside the new new figure. Here's the thing. obviously they're never going to tell us the exact numbers, because if we know X, then we can figure out Y. You know what I mean? So they're never going to tell us this. But you and I, right? We're pretty smart, right? We can figure out that when they don't tell you the sales numbers and they just tell you how many players are actually playing the game, if they were excited about the players, right, they would tell you like 2 million people, 3 million people bought it, 5 million people bought it, 10 million people bought it. That's what they used to do in the past, but they don't do that now. They don't do that now. What they do now is that they talk about it is numbers of people, hours played, right? Netflix does this with shows, hours watched, right? Not how many people watched it, but hours watched, right? So it doesn't really matter. Like one person could watch it 10 times. They just count the hours, not the actual people, right? Then they also assume that 2 people or 4 people are watching the show at the exact same time in one household, so they're doing that. So those numbers are fake as well, right? So there's a lot of different numbers out there that are not realistic numbers, right? They just tell you like 30 million people playing Sea of Thieves, 5 million people playing this, 4 million people downloaded it. So it's very odd, because obviously if you own a business, you'd be like, yeah, dude, we had millions of people come in. Right? You would be excited to tell people what it is. Okay. So it says back in fiscal year 2022, court documents said that Microsoft expected 110 million Game Pass subscribers in 2030. Most recently, analyst Michael Packner predicts 200 million by 2034. Okay. Now, obviously, this number sounds astronomical right now. Okay. In what we know right now with the formula that we have right now, we look at this and go, there's no way Microsoft can do this. Okay. Now, we don't know what their plans are, right? We don't know if they're going to take, I've talked about this in the past, we don't know if they're going to take Battle.net and all of a sudden merge it in with Game Pass. And if there's like a 50 million people there or 100 million people playing World of Warcraft or whatever launcher that they have there, and all of a sudden they make that into part of Game Pass, then boom, those people that are paying $15 a month to play World of Warcraft might now be part of Game Pass, right? So we don't know what they're going to do in the future to sway these numbers, okay? PlayStation is doing the same thing. Nintendo does the same thing. They try to make you sign up for things so they go, well, we have 10 million PlayStation Network accounts. We have 10 million people playing on Game Pass Live. Whatever it is, they're going to use it to make this look bigger, because if this number's bigger, then it tells the customers, well, if there's this many people playing, it must be a cool thing, so we're going to get in on it as well. Okay? He says, Paul Tassi says, my question is how? Where are the new subscribers supposed to be coming from? Okay, in answer to Michael Packner saying 200 million, right? He says, here's all the math, and it turned possibly Microsoft's entire gaming model does not really work at this point, with Game Pass growth dramatically slowed, if not stopped. They're simply running out of wells to find new subscribers. And I think, just based on what I've read so far, I think Paul Tassi is missing the case a little bit, because I think people are still locked in on this. You have to sell consoles to get these certain things, right? And I've said in the past, Game Pass won't make it, okay? I said it's unsustainable the way it is now. This is why they're moving to the cloud. This is why they're moving towards the stuff, because they need more people to potentially get Game Pass. And this is why I just said, if they make Battle.net into like part of Game Pass, that's an additional 20, 30, 50 million people that are part of Game Pass. If they get the Samsung TV thing, and then all of a sudden people are playing, they're playing on Game Pass, those people count. If you get a Microsoft account, maybe down the road they'll do like, hey, sign up for Office 365 and we'll give you 3 months of Game Pass. I don't even know if they do that now. That'll count as well. They're trying to pull as many people as possible from as many different directions as possible. So we look at this and go, there's no way they're going to do this. $200 million or 200 million subscribers is impossible. And I believe that right now it looks impossible, but it's really not that difficult if they have sneaky ways to pull in certain content, certain levels of trickery. I don't know how to. My brain's not collecting the dots here, but like I just said, like if they get them on Game Pass and then they get them in Battle.net, then they get them in some other format, and they all bring them. That's how they get 200 million to get onto Game Pass. Not per se 200 million on Game Pass specifically just for that. Okay, so it says the Xbox console base. This is without question the primary place you'll find Xbox Game Pass subscribers. That's technically wrong, right? Because the Xbox Game Pass subscribers, the most right now is on PC. They said this a while ago with 15 million I believe, on PC, and 10 million when we knew it was 25 million. 15 million of that was on PC, and 10 million was on actual console, right? So as you own a console, you play frequently. Game Pass is almost always going to be a good value option. However, Xbox has heavily de-emphasized console sales since its even previous generation, no longer reporting numbers and shrugging off big declines as it remains what it estimated to be around half of PlayStation sales or 2 generations now. Okay, here's another thing I don't like that reporters do. When they talk about one console but not the other, like they talk about PlayStation being 2-to-1, 3-to-1 over Xbox, but what is the switch to PlayStation 5? What's the switch to Xbox as well? No one ever brings in Nintendo into this conversation ever, right? They only leave the two big guys, right? For some reason. Okay, so it also says declines remains also estimated around half the PlayStation generation now, and if you are not selling lots of new hardware, you're not growing Game Pass in the era in the most likely to grow. And again, I don't understand this. If you notice, the revenue's up, yes, even with Activision, but they sold more games, they did more things for services, and sold less stuff. So the revenue's up, but their console sales are down. Okay, meaning more people are buying stuff than the actual hardware, they're buying software. Okay, he goes on to PC gaming and says, of course, there's also Game Pass on PC, but that's complicated. Part of Game Pass PC play may be the same people already playing some games on the Xbox itself. So that's not a sub. That wouldn't exist otherwise. But dedicated PC players are buying and playing most of their games on Steam, or if they have the various other launchers from Epic or Ubisoft. So the idea that there are PC players without Xbox that also feel that they need to pay for a yearly Game Pass subscription to get a handful of games, there is not a wide market, nor is there a poised to expand dramatically. Many Xbox games can be bought on Steam anyway, and you aren't locked into yearly subscription doing that. Well, there's a lot of people that don't care about, buying a game, right? I like buying my games, but there's a lot of people that don't like buying a game. They rather just rent it. They rather just, take it off the service, especially if you switch games all the time. Now, if you're a person that plays Destiny, you got your blinders on, man. You're playing Destiny. If you're a person that plays World of Warcraft, you got your blinders on, you're playing World of Warcraft. But there's a lot of you guys in my channel that like to jump between lots of different games. And if those lots of different games are on Game Pass, or all of a sudden they're on Steam, or all of a sudden they're on Game Pass PC, you get to jump back and forth, and that's good for those people. They're not spending $70 every time a game comes out. So, let's see. It says Xbox. Many Xbox games can be bought on Steam, which we just read. Okay, now cloud gaming. Okay, far and away, this is where the big dreams, Game Pass subscriber numbers predictions seem to be coming from. The idea here is that the cloud gaming market, where you can play on tablets, laptops, smart TVs, whenever, without the high-end PC or Xbox, is set to explode. I have seen no evidence of that, nor do I think any conceptual this makes much sense. I don't understand how people don't see what the future is, right? Like, go from 1997 to 2007, right? We went from pagers to cell phones to smartphones. Okay, we used to imagine a report back then going, "Oh, I can't believe people think we're going to be talking on these phones with no cords. How is it going to work? I have yet to see any evidence of this. I'm still working on my pager," right? And then all of a sudden, we got cell phones, and then cell phones moved, and then all of a sudden now a smartphone came. And before the smartphone came out, nobody thought that we would have computers on our cell phones. But then now it's a thing. We don't even think twice. We're like, who's got one of those flip phones, right? This is a thing. So now you're telling me that the cloud gaming is not sustainable. It's not going to happen. And I'm like, I don't understand. So again, far and away, he says, this is where the big dreams and Game Pass subscriber numbers predictions seem to come from. Remember when Netflix first started? And people said, oh, well, they're delivering discs to your house. How's this going to work? And then all of a sudden, they went digital. And then you were watching them directly to your house. Now, I know there's a difference between watching a 2-hour movie or a television show and the size differential between that and a video game. And you don't have to control anything there. But again, to all of a sudden just kind of throw away the last 15, 20 years of where technology has come with streaming, to say, I have yet to see the proof of this. The proof is already in the pudding, just not in the video game space. The music industry has gone to streaming. The movie industry has gone to streaming. I mean, hell, your comic books, your books, they're all just, you don't buy them anymore. They just stream them. Now, obviously, I understand video games are different because there's a lot more data going through. But how do you not see it? Okay? So it says first cloud gaming is not the best way to play any games right now. Of course not. But either was cell phones when you first played the game. But people played it, especially in the North America internet. He may be serviceable, but given the choice between playing a hardware or playing on the cloud, you're going to choose hardware. If you don't want to pay, for hardware, as Microsoft believes people don't, you are mainly going to get people not buying Xboxes, which Xbox has said that they're okay with that. That's why they want everything everywhere, which cuts into the side of their business, okay? Which they lose money every time they sell an Xbox, mind you. Okay, so if they don't sell an Xbox, but yet they can still sell the software, and still people buy the games, that's better for them because it's less money going out the door that they're not making back, okay? You may not even gain the subscriber if someone with the Xbox and a Game Pass subscription thinks cloud gaming is suddenly good enough to sell their Series X to GameStop, but keeps the same Game Pass sub. You did nothing there, but also removed someone from the hardware ecosystem entirely. Again, if you don't need it, then why do you need the Xbox? Right? If I could play the games on my cell phone, if I can play the games on my laptop, if I can play the games on my PC, if I can play the games on my television set. Everyone thinks that everyone's like a super sweaty PvP player that needs to have like the best internet possible. Okay. It also says this is a fantastical idea, and there's some giant untapped market in the current non-gamers that would also play Xbox video games if only they didn't have to spend $300 to $500 on console hardware. Again, tech issue aside, there's no evidence in this large market. Mobile gaming exploded because it was the entirely different genre of games. No subscription, free games, casual games, essentially nothing at all like that 90% of the games that are on Game Pass. I don't know how are you going to convince someone who's not into core gaming at all, and at best is playing whatever mobile flavor of the month is big, and they also need to pay almost $200 a year for a new subscription because Starfield came out. Who are these people meant to be? That would be the other people that don't watch these videos, the other people that don't watch YouTube, the other people that are not watching Asmongold or Lyric, or, like we're a small, finite little section of the video game industry, and yet there's billions of people, right? But only tens of millions of people are in this little circle, okay? Which I don't understand how people don't see. Call of Duty, right? Remember this. Call of Duty has said nobody wants to play mobile games. Nobody wants to play mobile games. Yet Call of Duty has 50 million people playing Call of Duty Mobile. Nobody wants to play mobile games. 50 million people played Call of Duty. Okay. Call of Duty is one of the only series big enough to generate the potential somewhat significant amount of Game Pass subscribers on its own. And Microsoft is considering doing just that. And yet, it'll then lose all the incredible amount of sales revenue on its own platform by giving its way in that fashion. This is also a trick that can only be pulled once, and there's no way that on earth something like the Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to launch on Game Pass unless Microsoft just buys Take-Two, which, I mean, is not impossible at this point. Okay, it also is an easy for players to subscribe to Game Pass for a couple of months, play COD, and then cancel the sub. Game Pass on a rival hardware, I don't even understand this one. Why would Sony accept Game Pass on PlayStation if Microsoft just gets a cut of everything there and undercuts their own offerings? But in the contrast, why would Microsoft put Game Pass on PlayStation or Switch to dramatically boost rival hardware while running quite literally a risk of killing their own? Nothing but this makes sense. Or nothing about this makes sense. So I do not know Game Pass growth is supposed to come from here. Microsoft does not have good answers for this. And the longer it goes on, the more I think it's all going to start to come apart. Well, here's the thing. If it does come apart, what's the safety net for them? Okay? If the safety net right now is that Microsoft is putting all their eggs in the basket to be a third-party publisher, and they want Game Pass to be that thing, and then all of a sudden it's not working for them for Game Pass, well, then they just stop making the console, right? And then they just become a publisher, just like EA, just like Ubisoft, just like Square Enix, just like Take-Two, just like all these other businesses that have been out there. Remember, Microsoft started their whole business with software. by streaming stuff or putting software on actual devices, and now they're doing the exact same thing with gaming, and people like just don't understand it. They're like, I don't understand how this is going to work. You have to have a console to play video games, even though there was plenty of things that happened in the past that you didn't need a full-fledged $350, $400, $500 system to play these things. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. What do you think is going to happen with Xbox as far as Game Pass? Where are they going to get these 100 million or 200 million subscribers for Game Pass? Do you think cloud gaming will be a thing? Even if it does take 10 more years, do you think Microsoft could last 10 more years to have that be the more sufficient thing that's out there in the public? Let me know in this comment section down below. Like I said, please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. And if you like what I do here, please make sure you check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right. Let's see what you guys are saying. Overwatch was cool, but I totally killed it with the with Overwatch 2. Travis says, to be honest, 30, they'll never give numbers for one simple reason, because I saw how much it costs to make it, and we have Riot. Dark Taco says, what's up, Robert? What's going on, Morcat? Evening. 50 million people have added this game to their library, but have not opened it. Right. It's exactly right. You go to they're like, 40 million people played Game Pass. You go to the achievement list, it's like 2% of the population has gotten past level 5. You're like, okay, cool. If you install a fresh Windows 11, they always offer you a free Game Pass, Mike. Do they? Do they, Taco? Mobile, handheld, PC, the vast majority of the market is untapped, Reese says. Shh, Reese, don't tell him that. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know where all these other people are going to be coming from. Do you remember the first time we heard someone had 10 million people downloads on mobile phone? Everyone's like, what? Like, we're so desensitized by the amount of downloads of something now. Like, it doesn't make sense to us, right? Like, Grand Theft Auto has sold 180 million, almost closing in on 200 million copies sold. Okay, and that's nothing compared to a mobile game, right? And I get it. Everyone's like, well, that's free. But it doesn't really matter, because you could give it to them for free, but I guarantee you that they're making more money off the free game at $1 a pop, $2 a pop, $3 a pop than someone with the $70 thing for the majority of the population of video games. Hence why a lot of people are going for that mobile market and not for a 5 to 7 year game making to put on console. Dark Taco says they don't, because Nintendo wins. Happy birthday, Mike. See you tomorrow. Peace out. Later, Travis. Babbling Bike, what's going on? Appreciate that. Anyone playing D4 Season 4 tomorrow? I am not. I'm going to wait to see what the verdict is. Dark Taco says, I'm playing Destiny right now. Damn you, Mike. Get those blinders on. You're like, I'm playing this is the greatest game in the world. The infrastructure is what's holding cloud streaming back. I have a question, right? Leo, and thanks for putting that in the chat, right? I have a question. Do you think a company would go towards something that they didn't have something already in the works? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna start a restaurant, okay, if I didn't already have my shit in order to start the restaurant, right? I'm gonna have that infrastructure ready to go and go, you know what? I'm gonna open a restaurant, and then I'm gonna open that restaurant. So do you think, and I'm not asking specifically you, right, Lemira? I'm asking, like, do you think Microsoft is going towards cloud gaming without knowing that the infrastructure is not there? I think Paul's out of touch with this article. Xbox cares if they can't grow the subscription base. See, the big thing is when cloud gaming, Clip says, the big thing is when cloud gaming can be used in places that are, the currency is so high and the video games is like $120 dollars, Game Pass is going to make so much money off of them. Right, Eclipse? I mean, just look at Ubisoft, what they're doing. Star Wars is $70, $130, but you can play it for $18. $18. Come on, Sarge. Glad you made it home. Where they get more subscribers? Answer: wow, goes on Game Pass. They do. I might cash in my free Game Pass to play Hellblade 2. I got charged for PC Game Pass. I don't remember signing up. That's how they do it, bro. That's how they're gonna get the 200 million, Jones. They're gonna secretly sign you up without you knowing. I just don't understand the part where. Do you know anybody that would go into a market without knowing the market? It's not like Microsoft doesn't know the market. Even though if they're third place, they know the market. Right? And a lot of people want to say that it's like Sega. Well, the difference between Sega in the early 2000s and Microsoft now, okay, is that there was no internet at the capability it is now when Sega was around, right? And this is why Sega failed, because there was no safety net. The safety net, in my opinion, okay, is the internet structure right now is that you literally don't need to have, okay, you don't need to have a console to make it in the industry. Right? How did Steam make it all these years before they had the Steam Deck? How did Steam make it, right? Obviously, Steam didn't make PCs. PCs is just there, right? It was just a place to buy video games. Okay? So now let's say Xbox does the exact same thing. Xbox doesn't have an actual box anymore in the future. Uh-oh, is that bad? I don't know. I'm asking. Is that a bad thing? Right? Netflix doesn't have their own cable network. Right? They came in, started up, did something out of the box that no one else was doing. They said, well, Blockbuster's actual brick and mortar. We're going to deliver our discs to people without ever leaving their house. Nobody thought it was going to be real. And then within 7 years, they shot up. And to this day, they're the only streaming service to make money. Everybody else lost out. Thanks for becoming a member. Leo, thank you very much for becoming a member. Appreciate that very much. Welcome. You can also link up your Discord if you have Discord. You can link it up to Discord. And if you don't pay after that, if you don't become a member again, you can still stay in our Discord and talk. You just have to link it up, and then different sections open up for you in our Discord. Discord's open up for everybody. But if you link your YouTube account to your Discord account, other sections open up for you in our Discord account. We have lots of different sections and rooms and different topics and different things that we always talk about. Small community, but very active. Appreciate that very much. All right. Yeah, the cloud thing, I just don't understand. I understand people don't believe in the cloud. I understand that people say that the cloud, the infrastructure is not there. I get that. I totally get that. But you do understand that the cloud has been around for a decade, right? It's not like the cloud is just like starting up today. They're like, hey, you know what? I think we could get this thing called the cloud in. What should we do? Like, it's been in the works for a decade. Before Microsoft even announced that they're doing something with the cloud, they were doing stuff with the cloud. End of the day, Microsoft, like every other company, will do whatever it thinks to benefit them the most. I think Game Pass or selling games at $70 or both. And that's what people don't see, Krebsy. That's the thing they don't see, right? I've said this in the past. Game Pass is the supermarket, right? There's lots of different things when you walk into a supermarket or a superstore, like Target, Walmart, Costco, whatever. There's a lot of different things, right? You're not just going to Xbox to get this one thing. There's many different ways for them to get the money. If it's giving you a small little fee of $10, if it's a free-to-play game and then there's microtransactions, if it's a full-fledged $70 game, or if it's DLCs, right? There's many avenues for them to get it. And this goes across the board. Obviously, Nintendo and PlayStation do the same. Just Xbox has got a little bit more. They're trying a little bit of other things. And then other companies are trying the same thing. Jones says, are you saying that he's off on this one and he's usually on? Yeah, I was playing cloud gaming a long time ago. I can't remember what it was called. It was called, was it called Online? Or, no, it was called Live. I forget what it was called. Something Live, which Sony bought, by the way. Go Live? What the hell was it called? I'm pretty sure Sony owns them now. Sarge says, no company would go into a market without having the tech ready and constructed or improved. The people that are pushing back can't seem to get off the idea that you have to have a specific box. On the IT side, cloud's been around for Microsoft, has been a leader there. Yeah, on Live. Thank you. That's what it was, right? That's still a thing, by the way, right? I think that's still a thing, if I'm not mistaken. Or did they finally close down? No. Still around, right? Oh, no, that's a different one now. That's a streaming thing now. Let's see. On Live. Let's go to the wiki here. Let's go to the wiki. On Live was a provider of cloud visualization technology based in Mountain View, California. Okay? And that was in 2009 to 2015. Okay? 2009, they were doing cloud gaming and whatnot. Flagship product was its cloud gaming service, which allowed subscribers to rent or demo computer games without installing them. Okay? Now, obviously, it's not around. Okay? But at the same time, yeah, see, on April 2nd, 2015, it was announced that Sony Computer Entertainment, now known as Sony Interactive Entertainment, had acquired Online's patents. Do you think that Sony bought them in 2015, which is 9 years ago, by the way? Because did you think that Sony didn't realize there was going to be cloud gaming? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, do the journalists do this? I don't know anything. I've never seen anything about proven of cloud gaming ever. Like, I don't understand. Right? It literally takes seconds to look up something. I know a lot of people don't like to believe in history. Okay? Okay, here, I'll continue here. The online service would be discontinued on April 30th, 2015. Sony operated PlayStation Now, a similar service built using the infrastructure and the former competitor of OnLive. Okay? Until it was merged as PlayStation Plus in 2022. I fucking love this. The people that are shitting, okay, that say cloud gaming's not going to exist, it's not going to be here. Playing cloud gaming, doing it. They literally took the technology and they turned it into PlayStation Plus. Shh. Right? Everyone thinks that Microsoft and Sony are evil. They're going against each other. I'm good. You're bad. You suck. No, you suck. but really they're in bed together, because the infrastructure of cloud gaming has been around for almost 2 decades. Almost 2 decades. Okay? And they're literally moving it towards that because that is where it's going. So if you believe that Sony, who invested in the same company that did cloud gaming in 2009 to 2015, then turned them into their PlayStation Plus, okay, that cloud gaming is not coming, you're delusional. And I agree with everybody that goes against me. It says, no, we're like 10, 15 years away. I would agree with you if we started today. But we didn't start today. We started back in 2009. Okay? The current model of Game Pass has stalled out. But it's like every other service, it evolved to keep growing. I just don't understand what people don't see. Right? Let's see. The infrastructure of cloud's not working, right? Let's see. Your emails are on clouds. Your storage is on clouds. Your backup of pictures is on a cloud. And I understand. That's not as high demanding as a video game. Okay? Your music's on the clouds. Your movie collection is on the cloud. But cloud gaming is not coming. It's super off. Exactly, Paul. Exactly. But it's not to their standards, right? Not only can you play your games on an airplane going at 700 miles an hour, right? Like if I really wanted to play, I could pay for what's it? Elon Musk's thing, Starlink, right? I can literally pay for Starlink, be on an airplane moving to 700 miles an hour, and streaming a game and playing on the game. Right? I said, and I stand by this. I said within 6 years, and I said this late last year, okay, maybe almost a year, last summer. I said between 6 and 7 years, cloud gaming will be the majority of the gaming market. Okay, and a lot of people don't want to listen to me with this because they think like the majority of the gaming market's got to be like 80%, 90%, right? There's PC, there's mobile, there's console, right? And then there's cloud, okay? Now you're going to split that in between, right? So let's do quick math here. If there's 4 and they all have 25% of the market, okay, all you need now is 26%, right? 26% of the market, and you would be the majority of that market, right? But people don't want to listen to that. They think they have to be like 80% of the market. PlayStation names, Herman Hulse. Yeah, I have an article about that. Yeah, I have an article about that. We're going to get to it. Yeah, but Xbox Cloud won't be the future. It's the worst cloud of all the services I tried. Ray, regardless if it's the future, cloud gaming, right? I don't give a shit if it's Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo or Apple or Google, whatever, whoever you want to put a jersey on for, I don't give a shit, okay? All I'm saying is that cloud gaming will be the majority of it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not putting my Xbox cap on and being like, well, Xbox is going to be the winner. No, I just said cloud gaming will be the majority, will lead that market. See, a lot of people, I'm not saying you, Ray, right? I'm not saying you. A lot of people come in and they already think I already have a side, right? And if you hang around this channel for a bit, you'll understand that I'm not an Xbox shill. I'm not a PlayStation shill. I'm not an anybody shill. Okay, I talk shit to the companies that try to dick us over. I bring that up all the time. Okay, and we just talk about the industry as itself. Come on, Ghost Fisker. Right, Paul. They believe in it so much, they literally gave the rights to Activision Blizzard to somebody else for the cloud. Oh, those comments section. I laughed so hard, Krebsy. I laughed so hard because Argus said something the other day when we were playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 last week. And it got me thinking, right? He said he didn't like me when he first heard me on the podcast years ago because he didn't understand where I was coming from, right? But the more he understood or the more he listened, he understood where I was coming from. And I think it's fair, right? A lot of people, and I'll be honest, I'll be the first person to tell you this. I'm not the best well-spoken person. I don't say a lot of big words, okay? Right? My brain is constantly doing this, right? It's constantly moving at 1,000 beats a second here, okay? Okay? And when that's happening, I have a point to say, and then all of a sudden something else pops in, and I go that way, okay? I understand that's how I am. I can say something, but I don't say it in a certain way, and then someone else says the exact same thing, but they say it in a better way, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's a good point." Right? And I'm like, well, I just said that the same thing, but they don't hear that. Right? They don't hear that. So people label you whatever they want, and the difference is I don't care. I don't care. No one's hating on me. I'm just explaining things, Dolphin. That's all. My favorite part about doing a podcast with Sarge on Thursday nights for the last decade is that we've said things 3 years in advance, sometimes longer. And when we say it, Sarge just said this to me today. He goes, we say it, people think we're crazy. Then it happens, or it's going to happen, and then everybody else starts to say it, and they get a round of applause that they're so smart, and they're ahead of their time. Okay? And then when we say it, they don't realize that we've already said it because it's already old to us. We've already moved on to the next 3 years ahead. I'm talking about the comment section every time I'm on any other Lono's podcast, other podcasts I've been in the past. People love just taking everything I say and they're like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, which is cool, which is fine. I want better infrastructure. My sister's in the Netherlands. I can't believe how far behind America is. Companies in Xfinity. Do you know why? Do you know why we're so far behind? Because we're idiots, and we pay really high, enormous amount of prices for the internet. That's why. Why would they give us better internet when we're paying for the shitty one that we have right now? That is it. Right? That is it. They have us by the balls, right? And we pay them big bucks for shitty internet. Why would they give us better internet until the standard has to get up to that point? Argus says, I don't think what I was thinking was you were bad at saying your point. I think it was just Joe Hard Destiny Stan at the time because all I played, so I couldn't see things from your point. I totally get that. And here we are now with Destiny, right? But if they give you better internet, you'll pay more. Well, here's the thing, Krebsy. Over the years, okay, the internet went up, and if I remember correctly, this is about 5 years ago, you would pay, let's say, $100, okay, and they would give you 20 up, 5 down, or what? 20 down, 5 up, something like that, right? Flip that, reverse it. It would give 20 down, 5 up, okay? Then all of a sudden they changed it. You're still paying $100, but all of a sudden the company gave you now 50 down and 10 up. Okay? And then all of a sudden they changed it to 100 down and 20 up. Okay? That price never changed because what they're doing is, look, there's a lot of stuff that goes on with the politics and stuff like that. that moves and changes. Sure, they could charge you more money, which they do, okay? Because the lower tier is still the minimum, which they want to give you if it's at 50 down or 100 down. But then they want you to upgrade more, right? Because then they start flashing things in front of you going, you want 4K? You want to watch 1080p? You want to watch 2K, 4K, 8K, 16K? You want to watch all your videos? You could download 3 things at a time. This is the best. And this is what they do to make you upgrade, okay? That's what they do. But they raise that bare minimum up and up because it's in their benefit to get more people at the lower end to get them in, and then kind of cut them off, hold it back, make things shittier for them to then give them the upsell, right? Well, we got you in at the entry level if you pay for 2 years in advance. You don't think the infrastructure is already there? Come on. Altered says, I do. Your points are bad, 30. Now, allow me to moment while I complain about it in Lono's comment section. What I always find funny, the people that don't understand, maybe they're just this stupid. I don't understand, right? Altern? The people say, I hate when Mike is on the show. Every time he's on the show, I hate it. But yet they watch. Not only do they watch, but they leave a paragraph comment in the comment section. They hate me so much that they watch the show and then they comment to the things I'm saying in the actual show. Ta-da! Well, welcome. Welcome, Lemmings, because that's exactly what we want you to do. We want you to watch the show. We want you to disagree with me or him. We want you to be in the comment section commenting, because that is what makes the video good. But hey, you do you, and I'll do me. The battle for the internet is going on right now. Providers are trying to establish the prices, but they're also being told that the manufacturers and the consumer base needs, let's just say, double X to run services. Right. Waterbear Sales, well, Sarge, if that's true, someone should send a goddamn letter to Xfinity because they're still high as hell. They're planting a bunch of fiber in my area now. Sarge says now they're also trying to attend to this, attain that speed, but maintain the revenue stream that's also trolled by them alone. They're also realizing that the minimum is being raised nearly without the price increase. We have that subscription service for cold water. Humanity is becoming stupid. I told that to somebody, Krebsy, and they looked at me dead in the eye and said, yeah, I've seen that before. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, it's been around for years. I was like, what? You're paid for... Like, there's a difference between paying for, like, Deer Park water to be delivered to your house, right? And they put, like, the 5-gallon jug, and you're like, right? Like, I get that subscription model. I get that. But to go out in public and scan my phone so I can get cool water, cold water, or ice cold water, that's a little too much. Oh, you want internet? Would you also like a cable and a phone line? Right, the phone line. Well, I appreciate that, Bike. I appreciate that. I heard what they can do with the existing coaxial lines. Already have it installed is actually crazy, and the way more of the current standards with current tech. I can't comment on the internet because I live in Canada. You can't comment on the internet? You can comment here. You can't. Wait, Canada? I'm confused, Ray, because we have people that live in Toronto and Quebec and a whole bunch of places up there, and they can comment in the YouTube section. Why can't you comment on the internet? Dolphins are suckers. Not only they watch it all. Leave a like, a comment, then comment on the other people's comments complaining about you. I know. It's fantastic. Yeah, Art just put a fiber in my area. Oh, FYI, you didn't hear this from me, but T-Mobile is about to drop a fiber internet connection. Shh. We didn't hear that from you. I don't hate watch. I don't get it. I combine home internet with my mobile phone bill and only have to pay $65 a month for Verizon Fiber fastest tier. Yeah, but what's your kill death ratio, Argus? But what's your kill death ratio? Canada recently just got some weird laws about YouTube. Really? You know what I love about you, chat? It doesn't matter when I do my stream. Like, you guys are always here, the same people, the same amount of viewership. Doesn't matter if it's daytime or nighttime. You guys always come out, and I appreciate that. Pretty good Call of Duty from match to match. If you don't consider overall kill death ratio, not so good. Not Fortnite battle royales though. Quebec wanted to force Netflix to fund French-Canadian content. Really? All right, babbling. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. We do these shows at night, usually are gameplay. During the morning streams, we do this type of talk, 10 o'clock in the morning till about noon Eastern, Monday through Thursday. We always talk games and stuff, but usually at night I play video games and we bullshit. Where are the giant bugs? Ron, for a second I thought you were talking about the picture I took this weekend. I took a picture. Hold on. I took a picture of this bug. I put it on the internet for you guys to tell me what it is. Okay. And I wanted to know what this was. I wanted to know what this was. That's why I was going to get my flamethrower out, but I didn't. People tell me it's a stink bug. You guys can't see it, but if you look at them, like right there, all the other orange dots, look at them all. Oh yeah, it's crazy. Look at that. No, it's not a tick. It wasn't a tick. I know it wasn't a tick. Not the flame-throwing robot dog. Reverse search it? Oh, that's a good idea, Tubes Gaming. That's a good idea. I think Helldivers sent me a care package. I think that's what it was. I think Helldivers sent me a care package of bugs. And that's what it is. Thanks, Arrowhead, for the bugs attacking my back porch. Appreciate that. I really dig this live service campaign moving into the real life. Fantastic. On that note, we're going to talk about Helldivers. And that's how you do a transition. That's how you do a transition. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's a shit ton of them. I was just weeding the other day, right? I was just weeding the other day, and I went to go grab the thing and just rip it out of the ground. And when I grabbed it, one fell on my glove that I had. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And when I looked, all of a sudden my eyes like focused on that, and then I looked at the weed I was holding on to, and I just saw a bunch of them, and I was like, "What?" I let go of it instantaneously. Shiny Red Flag says, I'm not the same. I'm not the same people at 1:50 a.m. here. This will be a rare event for me. I like your Friday shows with Lono if I can catch them. Well, I appreciate that. We appreciate you watching the show. Make sure you watch, like, and comment. Only if you hate it, though. Only if you hate it, though. Did you need a PlayStation account to take that bug photo? I did not. I did not. You got the Square Enix story lined up? I do. I do. I got Square Enix plans to aggressively pursue multi-platform game releases by Tom Warren. Helldivers doesn't really have a story or does have a minimal. I don't see how they destroyed himself. Well, I don't get it either, Krebsy. This is why I'm going to read the story and I'll give you my thoughts about it as we read it, right? Because I've played Helldivers now for about 68 hours total. And I don't know any storyline that's going on besides the story of, you know what I mean? Like, there's no dialogue, there's no cutscenes, there's no, you know what I mean? I don't know. All right, so let's read this. If you guys like what I do here, I do this Monday through Thursday mornings, 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and if you have to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I read the articles for the first time on stream, and then I give you my thoughts and opinions based on the article that we read. No outside sources. I'm not looking at other people's YouTube channels or Twitter accounts. I literally read these stories for the first time on channel just by the article, submitted by most of the people that watch my channel. They submit a story, I read the article and go, yeah, that sounds pretty good, and then we do it live right on stream. So let's get to it. All right, so former Helldivers 2 lead writer burnt out hard, okay, while updating the near-flawless live service game, and he says, I absolutely destroyed myself. So let's, again, I'll go into this. I don't understand how he burnt himself out because, I mean, Helldivers has less story than Destiny 1 did with the Grimoire cards, where you had to go to a third-party site to read. Did I miss something? Does Helldivers have a third-party site where I could see or read something of this massive story that they're telling? Now, they are telling a story, and I'm not making fun of them in that way. I just don't remember any kind of story that... But let's read on, right? The Helldiver veteran is taking those lessons into his next game, though. Okay, great. So, Arrowhead Studio former lead writer Russ Nickel. Is that his real name? Is this a real story? Is that his real name, chat? Is this a real story? Russ Nickel? All right, I'll continue. It might be his real name, and it might be a real story. I'm going to just read the story, okay? Russ Nickel felt burnt out after continuously updating the live service game as flexible and unpredictable as Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 has been able to do the impossible for live service games, stick around for longer than 2 hours because the team actively reacts to everything that the players do, in and outside of the game itself. Now, Helldivers 2's most contested planet with the in-game Memorial Day, while the recent review bombing fiasco might also be immortalized with a free cape, okay? But constantly building a narrative to evolve alongside community discourse can also be more than a thing, according to Nickel, who spoke about the issue in an interview with Inverse. Okay, he says, quote, I burned out hard, but it was my own fault, he explained. I wanted Helldivers 2 to be the most perfect and absolutely destroyed myself. I abandoned my friendships, I pulled an all-nighter, and the company wasn't asking me to do it. It was just I cared so much about making it good and totally consumed me. I mean, look, I'll be honest. This sounds like a person that wanted to make a game, to sell a game, right? And I've said this in the past, like, you put your blood, sweat, and tears into something that you're passionate about and that you love. And that's what goes into that first part of make a game, right? Make a game. Now, I have a question, like you guys are saying, right? Is he Joel? I don't know. I was thinking the exact same thing when I read that, when he said it consumed me and he lost everything, right? He says the grind of the building is near flawless. Live service is inspired by Helldivers 2 veteran to create a horny version of the Fire Emblem. A currently untitled strategy RPG with a lot of romance despite missing his time contextualized bug squashing. Nickel thinks his upcoming game is Did I miss something? Wait a minute. Did we miss something? Consume me. Oh yeah, we're right up to the and wanted to learn there, and also burnt out. Part of why I'm making the current game. Elsewhere, the former lead developer into how the game's ambitious D&D inspired campaign came about, improved the fuel to players. So he didn't really say much. It's not really that big of an article. So he's talking about how he burnt out. But what did he burn out on? I'm a little confused here, chat. Right? What is the story? Like, okay, let me put this in my brain, right? Okay, the automatons are attacking this planet. We must attack this planet. His story, like, I get it, like he's a dungeon master, right? He's like, all right, I'm gonna move him over here, and this is we must get these robots pushed back so we can get the mech. That process burnt you out? The thought process of it? The dialogue writing of it? Like, you can have an idea and say, yeah, I think I want to take these automatons and move them here. Do you know what I mean? I'm a little confused. Can someone maybe he burnt the script? I don't know, but the script is kind of red flag. The script seems like you're a dungeon master. You ever play Dungeons and Dragons? Have you ever been a dungeon master in Dungeons and Dragons? Like, you come up with the stuff ahead of time, right? And you have different scenarios. So, like, if you were the dungeon master and Sarge rolled and he goes up against the troll, you made a scenario of they're going to fight a troll when they move here. And if they don't fight the troll, they're going to fight this thing. And there's, like, backup plans and different things. Like, you could choose to go through this door, or you could choose to fight the troll, right? And what Helldivers is doing is like D&D. It's like you could fight the automatons here, or you could choose to go fight over here. What's the actual writing part? I'm a little confused, Gaming Fire. I still can't tell if it's real. The guy's name is Russ Nickel. Russ Nickel. It's not a Shakespearean story. It's just kill the bugs. Yeah, I'm a little confused. I mean, look, I give all the props. They're doing a great job. But what's the? Here. I'll tell you something. I'm tired of writing all these dialogue things for my streams every day. The writing that I do for this show is absolutely. I mean, I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this, which I do. But I don't write a fucking word down on a piece of paper. Okay? I'm a D&D master right here on my stream. I'm a little confused on what he was burnt out about. Sounds like an AI story. Eric, yeah, it sounds weird. Russ Nickel. Ray says, you are a soldier who does what they're told, like real life. Start says, Russ Nickel better than Thomas Penny or Sandra Dime. I mean, I don't understand. This is not really a story. I'm glad we read it, but I don't get it. This story is probably one of the least stories I've ever seen. I throw a paint on the wall, I'm burnt out. Yeah. I'm exhausted. I love to see a stream with Russ explaining his torment. Yeah, he's like, hey guys, thanks for tuning in today. Today I'm going to tell you the torment I had coming up with Helldivers 2 story campaign. So I was sitting here, I had a writer's block. I had 3 factions. We're using one of them. You are the soldier. And I was like, what are we going to do? I was like, well, I had to come up with something. I was like, we're going to go up against bugs. I happened to look at a cell phone one time. I took a picture in my garden. I saw a bug, and I was like, that's what we're going to do. We're going to fight bugs. And then I came across this movie that maybe people don't know about called Starship Troopers. And I was like, you know what? We're going to do that. But then I'm going to do something different. We're gonna make it different because I'm going to put out another faction. Because there was another movie I saw that was called Terminator. And then I took what Terminator did, and I kind of like flipped it, right? I was like, what about if robots attack us, but they don't attack us on our planet? They attack us from outside our planet. And I was like, this is it. And I came up with this. And I was like, what are we going to get rid of? How are we going to get rid of these? And I was like, we'll use guns. Crazy. So then I came up with a script, and I wrote it on a napkin, and the napkin said, good guys fight bad guys, bad bugs, and bad robots. And then I submitted it. Thanks for coming in. Share, like, subscribe. Bill Dollar Reese. Too much. Kelly Quarter. Kelly Quarter. It could be worse. It could be an interview on the player that nuked Phil Spencer's house in Fallout 76. What I thought was funny about that, Altern, there's someone reporting that Phil Spencer is now going further in the game so he can get to the point where he nukes people. And I'm like, or he's just playing the game. Peter Pesos. Good. Yeah. ChatGPT, what should I do with this week's Helldivers story? Responds, have automatons attack X planet. Sign of relief. That was rough. Time to take 2 weeks off. Could you imagine if Russ Nickel is just the AI that's coming up? There is no Joel. There is no... It's literally just... It's just Russ Nickel. Just playing the game doesn't make good tweets or video article headlines, Mike. Yeah, I don't. If Argus, if you're saying that, like, I don't tweet. I don't tweet out some stuff. I don't do anything like that. If that's what you're saying. I just read the articles. I just have content for the people that want to watch me. I'm doing social media and YouTube completely wrong. Preacher's probably punching the screen right now. You know, games stories are low when the story like that is headline. Yeah, Phil Spencer. Well, because it sounds good, because they're like, Phil Spencer's, he just fired 4 people and he's just playing games. He's playing games. He's not running the company. No, he is running the company. His job is to play games and figure out what game. I'm not treating my screen that way. No, I'm saying that I won't say he's just playing the game because, oh, right. It's not a good headline. I got what you're saying. Yeah, it's funny to me. They're like, Phil Spencer, if he spent more time not playing video games, then he wouldn't have lost his companies. And the other side's like, well, I think he's playing the game. Like, people are upset that people are not gamers. They're just suits that are running the company. And then there's a guy who actually likes to play games and likes to know what he's playing and understands what's going on. And everyone's mad at him because he's playing video games. Like, okay, cool. Think about something for a second. You're a owner of a restaurant or an owner of your own business right now. You work 60, 70, 80-hour weeks running your own business, right? You have nothing to do with video games. Nothing. Okay? Now you come home and you just play games to kind of wind down or whatever. Okay? Someone comes up to you and says, well, your business would be doing better if you weren't playing video games. You're like, fuck you. My business is making money and I'm successful. I want to take just 2 hours of my week to play a fucking video game. Now when he does it, it's actually his job, right? He goes to work He travels, and when he's traveling or he's home on his own time, he's playing video games because that's his fucking job. Just imagine if a chief didn't taste his food. Or chief, Jesus Christ, I'm okay. Chef tasted his food. Right? Everyone's just calling Phil Spencer the biggest piece of shit right now. The biggest cuck. One of the others, everyone's mad at him right now. So I got to fuel those headlines. Oh, of course. Of course. They're doing that with The Rock as well. I saw a lot of videos and stuff about The Rock. Right? Piling on top of that guy as well. I don't even know what he did. Oh, I don't care, though. I like Phil. It's a no-win scenario, though. Going to end up being thrown under the bus and blamed for all this. Yeah, but you know what, Creature? That's the job. Right? That's the job. When you succeed, you succeed. But when you don't succeed, you also get the shit on that. That's his job. His job in that position is to take the blame. Can you imagine the headlines on that all turned? Phil Spencer bans man who It's happened 5 other times over the years. Who nukes him? Basically nothing Phil can do at this point. But you're right. It's his job. He signed up for it. Yeah, and there was an interview, actually. He didn't even want the job in the beginning. Right? I hope we get to hear his side one day. Sure, I'm sure it'll be some sort of book, right? That you can only stream from the cloud, though. It won't be paperback. You're getting his book, but it's only on Game Pass or through the mobile store. People need to stop saying Phil ruined Xbox. He saved it from being killed. Jax, absolutely, right? He literally turned that whole company around for what it was, the shithole it was, to what it is. Still in bad light for a lot of people, but it's a much better shape it is now than it was in the past. You gotta play Season 4 Diablo. Oh, B, I thought you were gonna say you had to play Diablo 4 Season 4 to unlock Phil Spencer's story. No, I'm not playing Diablo 4. If it gets murmurs of it's awesome, it's good, I'll watch like Dark Microtransaction talk about it. I'll watch a Asma Gold video about it, and then if it's good, then maybe I'll go back. But I have no interest on it. Oh, this is a long story, this one. All right, buckle up. Actually, you know what? I don't know if I want to read that one. Maybe I'll do that one tomorrow. This is why Xbox believes it must cut cost and close studios. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. We'll read the Square Enix one tonight. Yeah, we'll do the Square Enix one tonight. As big as the Helldivers? No, it's much bigger. I'll turn. Yeah, it's a really long one. It's one of those that you'll tune out. It's a big one, right? There's a lot. I would stop I would stop a lot and pause and talk. It's about an hour long between me reading it and me commenting and stuff. That's what it looks like. I didn't read it yet, but there's a lot here. There's a lot here. That's what she said. They're both ridiculous. Let's keep them both and talk something fun. What, the Square Enix one's not good either? There are many Square Enix games. I'm so glad more will come to Xbox, hopefully. Let me see this one. This one's short, though. I'll read this one. We'll read this one. We're gonna talk about Marvel Rivals a little bit. There's a bunch of nothing. I can make nothing into something. Sony's going to send games to some places. All places, isn't it? It's just multi-platform. So I shouldn't read it then? Ubisoft announces Assassin's Creed Shadows with full reveal coming on Wednesday. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, you know what? We'll read it now, because if it's nothing, we'll read it now and get it out of the way so I don't have to read it tomorrow. All right, so if you guys like what I do here, I do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to noon Eastern. Tonight, we're doing it on Monday evening because I didn't do a show this morning. So The Verge has an article called Square Enix Plans to Aggressively Pursue Multi-Platform Game Release. So if you like what we do here, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, make sure you hit that membership button as little as $5. Okay, so Square Enix plans to aggressively pursue multi-platform game releases. Thank you, good night. That's the whole story. Everybody's getting bitten by multi-platform bug. Now it's Square Enix. Okay, in an earnings report released earlier today, the publisher shared plans to increase profits by stating that it will aggressively pursue multi-platform strategies that include Nintendo platforms, PlayStation, and Xbox and PC. I have a question. No shit. Who didn't think about this down the road? Remember years ago? No, actually, none of you remember this years ago. Because years ago, I was like, more games in more places is more money for those companies, and I hate timed exclusives. Right? I have no problem with first-party titles like God of War and like Halo, and they're on their own because it's first-party games. Cool. But like the Square Enix time exclusive, Grand Theft Auto back in the day time exclusive, I hate that shit. I was like, just put them out everywhere. Okay, stop dangling. You gotta get over here, right? I always thought it was stupid that Final Fantasy was only on PlayStation. I get it. That's what they wanted to do, and they paid the money, so that's where it goes. But for a gamer, I thought it was dumb because you want to play where you want to play. Right? Let's continue, shall we? So right now, Square Enix's biggest games like Final Fantasy 14 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth have been restricted to PlayStation with PC releases for the select titles, including Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Integrate following some of the time after console launch. Now, however, smaller new releases like the forthcoming Vision of Mana are seeing simultaneously releases on Xbox. Okay, the company wrote that it hopes to bring the major franchises, including its back catalog, to more platforms, and will build an environment where more consumers can enjoy our titles. Its policy, okay? Our titles. Its policy, Xbox has stated to pursue releasing its exclusive to other platforms, like Grounded and Pentiment and Switch, is highly praised, and also the fated Hi-Fi Rush on PlayStation 5. Now, the news that fans can expect more Square Enix titles on more platforms is coupled with additional reports that the company is also undergoing a round of layoffs. Uh-oh. Is Phil Spencer the problem? Did Phil Spencer do any more layoffs? Or is this just happening in the industry? Oh, it's just the industry? Okay. According to the report, VGC, the publisher is planning to let go of the unconfirmed number of players or people across the U.S. and European business. The Verge has reached out to Square Enix for comment. Earlier this year, the industry analysts have also speculated that Square Enix's most recent game, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, hasn't been selling as well as expected, and Square Enix itself has not shared the sales numbers for the game, despite doing so for Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy 15, and also the Rebirth director's predecessor, Final Fantasy VII Remake. This shift also multi-platform releases then might be response to Rebirth's apparently soft sales at the fact that Final Fantasy 15, one of the best-selling games in the franchise ever, released both on PlayStation and Xbox, selling over 10 million copies worldwide. Hey, PlayStation guys, what are you doing? Right? You got Final Fantasy exclusive for PlayStation, and there's only 3 million of you playing the game. What's going on? What's happening here? What's going on? It's your fault, PlayStation. You guys are not buying the game. Now it's going over to Xbox. You failed. You failed. You're a bunch of failures. You lost your opportunity. Final Fantasy was in your grasps. You had it, and then you didn't buy it. So they said, all right, we're going to go other places. Congratulations, PlayStation. You played yourself. Look, joking aside, obviously this is a smart business decision for Square Enix to do this, right? It's a smart business decision for them to do this because more places. Now, again, I said this in the past in other videos, right? If it's only 2 more million people on Xbox that are going to buy the Final Fantasy game, that's at least 2 more million people that Square Enix can make money off of. Doesn't mean that there's going to be 5 to 10 million more people playing the game. But if you put it on this console, and you put it on that console, and you put it on this thing, you make it more convenient, right? More approachable for other people to buy it on other areas, then duh, they're going to make more money. Imagine having one, here's a food analogy for you. Imagine having one restaurant, okay? And you're like, man, all the people in my area really like this restaurant that I've created. I'm just going to sit here and I'm not going to try to expand out or do anything like that. No, they franchise it out. They franchise it out to other places, other locations, because they want to make more money. Obviously, it's a no-brainer. So these are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Do you think this is a good deal for Square Enix to bring them across? Do you think, because of this, do you think that Square Enix all of a sudden gets put onto Game Pass? Do you think it gets put onto PlayStation Plus? Let me know what your comments are in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. And if you like what I do here, please check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. I love my food analogies. You know why I use food analogies, Altern? Because everyone likes food. RJ says, didn't PlayStation Pony say that Square has PlayStation first party and their games will never go to Xbox? I can't wait to see how this moves the goalpost this time. They love moving goalposts, RJ, right? Remember, first party titles will never go, and then when they do go, like MLB The Show, it wasn't because of Sony, it was because of MLB. And then when Helldivers came to PC, it's not because of that, it's all because of live service games. They love moving the goalposts. Day and date will be coming. Day and date will be coming. Why? Just like Ubisoft, that wants to put all their games everywhere at the exact same time, multi-plat. Just like that, that's what Sony's going to do with their games as well. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth sold badly because of the Series A. That's right. I'm gonna have to make. I appreciate you putting the parentheses of sarcasm. We talked about that on GXG a couple weeks ago. We need to make a. I need to change one of our emotes into our sarcasm emote. We gotta work that out. We're gonna have to work that out. I never played Final Fantasy game in my life. Can't understand the hype. Nostalgia, I guess. Sony lost all 50% of its exclusive input. They want sales. No, Game Pass for a while. Well, not true, Reese. If Xbox will pay them upfront money, then they would make money and they wouldn't care about the Game Pass thing. You know what I'm saying? You could buy it and you could also play it on Game Pass because they pay up front. Food brings people together. Hero says, yep. I can tell, yeah, Final Fantasy Rebirth is ass. It's pretty much all mini games. Really? See, I haven't played a Final Fantasy game besides Final Fantasy 14 that I played about a month and a half ago when it came on the Xbox. I haven't played a Final Fantasy game since 11. That's the last Final Fantasy game I played. '2020 to 2024, 47 Square Enix games released, 32 multi-platform, 9 Nintendo exclusives, and 6 PlayStation exclusives. Look, I even hated when Ultimate Alliance was just exclusive on Nintendo. Now, I get nobody else wanted to give them the money, but I hated it. So where's the news? You never have to have news. You're here. Just like you say, Creature. They're here for me. They're here for me. One plus one is two. Thanks for tuning in. No, I know, Creature. I know. Most of that stuff, most of the stories that are... Here's the thing. I look at it this way. These journalists /journalists, because some of them are still journalists, okay? So the journalists /journalists have to write stories because they get paid per words. You know what I mean? So I figured, why not get paid as well, right? By commenting on their articles. Yeah, Rusty Nickel. It was definitely better than Rusty Nickel. Fucking. Do we think that story was real? Do we think Russ Nickel, his name is Russ Nickel. Okay, do we think Russ Nickel was an actual real person? Russ Nickel. Sounds like a male stripper. Next up on stage, Russ Nickel. Truth can be stranger than fiction. It's true. Sounds like a C-tier actor name. Would it be an actor's name? No, it would be a porno name. It would be, Argus. It would be a porno name. Maybe a news anchor. Oh, yeah, definitely a news anchor. Welcome to News at 11. I'm Russ Nickel. Yeah. That's it. That's what it is. It's a news anchor. You hit it right on the head. It's 100% a gay porn name. I think it's a news anchor. Maybe it's a news anchor in a gay porn. All right. For the next story, I played 3.5 hours of Marvel Rivals. Okay, 3.5 hours of Marvel Rivals. And I'll give you my opinion on it. But we're going to watch a video from a YouTuber. Got 12.8K subscribers. His name is Nosy Boy. Okay, so I've never watched him before. He has 20 new characters for Marvel Rivals. There was a list that came out last week. We kind of talked about it on GXG for a little bit. So I'm going to listen to what he has to say. I'm going to comment on that, and then I'll give you my thoughts on it as well. Now, Joel has burned out as the head writer of the non-story driven game. We should all embrace him. We should all give him hugs. Yeah, it's okay, Russ Nickel. It's okay. Oh, poor Russ. You gotta watch the name on the intro. Got a tongue twister saying that the last name too fast and you're canceled. It's true. I wonder why Square Enix is hurting no MMO expansions in a few years. Mobile failing, bad games releasing like Forspoken, Babylon's Fall, etc. I think there's a lot of problems going on in the industry, not just with, as everyone wants you to think, it's only happening on Microsoft, right? I think games are taking longer than they wanted. Everything got pushed back 2 years, first off, because of the whole world shutting down. I think that they're having more issues. I think they're getting shittier staff members, I'll be honest with you. I think you're getting a lot of people that want to fake it till they make it. And they're getting screwed over. I'm not saying corporations are getting screwed over. I think studios are getting screwed over. I think there's a lot going on between the DEI stuff that's happening in the film industry and also now in video games. I think there's a lot going on there. What's going on, Mo? How you doing tonight? Right? They're rushing games out. They're not done. Right? The games that do come out on time, okay, they're still 18 months behind because they're not actually done. You're playing like you're playing early alpha builds, but they're launching it as a gold. Mo says no. Those MFers are hiring because they're dumb as exclusive deals. I agree with that. I think the exclusive deals are stupid. The business aspect is way overshadowing the creative process of the games these days. It's showing in the product. A lot of people. Yeah. Same with the movie industry. Well, Mo, you just missed it. If you rewind just a little bit, I dig into that a little bit, right? I said it was the PlayStation guys' fault because they didn't buy the games. Yeah, I said they had the exclusive for Final Fantasy games and they just didn't buy them. All right, let's go with the next story. Let me make sure this is... All right. Come on, take it easy. How you doing, man? Make sure this is loud enough for you guys.
The public is going to have access to the new game, Marvel Rivals. Now, if you know anything about video games, the very second the public gets access to them, they tear into the files and they dig up every single secret the devs did not want you to know. Marvel Rivals was not an exception, and we already have a list of 20 characters that have been found as playable in the files of the game. Now, this information comes from Miller Ross on Twitter.
Hey, we know Miller.
If you don't follow Miller Ross, you really should if you like superhero games. They are at the forefront of superhero leaking and data mining, whether it's Suicide Squad or Avengers or now Marvel Rivals, which, good for them, it seems like they're finally attached to a game that'll last more than a year. Miller Ross posted, here is a complete list of playable characters currently indexed in the closed alpha test build.
All right, so we have Hulk, Punisher, Storm, Loki, Human Torch, Doctor Strange, Mantis, Hawkeye, Captain America, Rocket Raccoon, Hela, Cloak and Dagger, Black Panther, Groot, Ultron, Magic, Moon Knight, Luna Snow, Squirrel Girl, Black Widow, Iron Man, Venom, Spider-Man, Magneto, Scarlet Witch, Thor, Mr. Fantastic, Winter Soldier, Penny Parker, Star-Lord, Blade, Namor, Adam Warlock, Jeff the Land Shark, Psylocke, Wolverine, Invisible Woman, The Thing, and Iron Fist, Levi.
Build with their corresponding number. Now, I'm not going to go over the numbers because I don't think that matters as much, but I will list them on screen. Hulk, Punisher, Storm.
Oh, he's doing it already for me.
Loki, Human Torch, Doctor Strange, Mantis, Hawkeye, Captain America.
There's a couple of characters, Argus. Hulk is sort of like Diva, but so is Penny Parker, right? They've done a couple of characters like kind of over, and it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm having a good time playing the game. Like I said, I played about 3.5 hours. Got to level 6, almost level 7. I've been playing against the NPCs because I didn't really want to play against anybody. So I was just playing against the NPCs. Pretty fun. Playing different types of little game modes and whatnot. The characters feel good. Some of them. Punisher is straight up soldier. What was the soldier from Overwatch? What was his name? He feels exactly like Soldier. I forget the guy's name. It's just Soldier? No, it was not Winter Soldier. I forget the guy's name. You guys will tell me in chat, right? But Soldier 76, yeah. Punisher feels to the T like Soldier 76. Like, to the T. Okay? Then you have other characters that feel exactly like other ones. It's just third-person Overwatch. I hate to say it. If you want to say this is bad or good, whatever, it is Overwatch, third-person Overwatch with Marvel skins. That's what it feels like.
Rocket Raccoon, Hela, Cloak and Dagger, Black Panther, Groot, Ultron, Magic, Moon Knight, Luna Snow, Squirrel Girl, Black Widow, Iron Man, Venom, Spider-Man, Magneto, Scarlet Witch, Thor, Mr. Fantastic, Winter Soldier, Penny Parker, Star-Lord, Blade, Namor, Adam Warlock, Jeff the Land Shark.
Who the fuck is Jeff the Land Shark? I don't know who Jeff the Land Shark is. I have no idea.
Psylocke, Wolverine, Invisible Woman, The Thing, and Iron Fist. But they are not doing the Danny Rand Iron Fist, they are doing Lynn. Now, honestly, I really like this roster. One thing Marvel Rivals already has.
Now, I've said in a separate video that I did about a month ago, okay, before we knew about this list, about these people being in the game, I said, because we knew about 19 of them when they showed the trailer, okay, 18 or 19 of them, I said they need to double that day one. So whenever this comes out, I'll still stand by it. This game needs more characters. If Overwatch had 30 or 40, whatever, in 6 years, these guys need 40 day one. There's thousands of characters they can put in, and this game needs 40 up front and then constantly adding stuff down the ride. All these other comic book games should have learned the lesson here. Marvel's Avengers, Gotham Knights, Suicide Squad, any other comic book game that was multiplayer online should have 1,000%. Oh, Marvel Future Revolution put as many heroes, many villains, many bad guys to fight against and use. Talk about a no-brainer.
Has started doing with the revealed characters is that they're not just going for the mainstream Marvel hits. They're not just doing Iron Man, Spider-Man, Thor, Captain America, Wolverine. They're also throwing in characters like Penny Parker, Magic, and Luna Snow. So if you're a fan of any Marvel character, this game is exciting because your character has a chance. For example, Nico, Sister Grimm, that's her superhero name, but she's a big character in the Midnight Suns game. Just real quick side note.
There's another game I actually missed. More characters would have been better, even though they did put more characters in. Where's Deadpool? Deadpool movie coming out. Where's Deadpool? He should be in the game.
You should really play Midnight Suns, one of the most underrated superhero games ever, especially if you love tactical RPGs. It's really great. But Nico plays a big role in that game, and I've become a big fan.
Yeah, but if they wanted to do cosmetic microtransactions, they would have to work nonstop to make everything. Oh, you mean do a job? Is that what you're talking about, Geezy? Right? They would actually have to make money by actually putting some effort into the thing to make people buy it? Is that what you're saying?
Fan of her and her characters since then, and I would love to play as Sister Grimm in Marvel Rivals, and she actually has a really good chance because we're getting characters like Jeff the Shark and Penny Parker and Luna Snow. I love the fact that this roster is so eclectic and it covers all branches of Marvel so well. If you like the MCU, there are plenty of characters. If you're a big comic book nerd, dude, there are characters in here where you're probably the only one who's heard of them. Even if you're a Marvel gamer, Luna Snow debuted in a Marvel video game.
Easy, let me tell you something. People making cosmetic skins are not working longer than the people making the actual fucking game. The DICE crew that made Battlefield 2042 made 8 maps. And then over the next 18 months, they took the same 8 maps and reworked them. So would you rather them make a game or make cosmetics? I don't think the guy making the cosmetics is working as hard as the person actually making the game. But that's just me.
She's in mobile games. No matter what branch of Marvel.
If I'm a seamstress, here's an analogy. Not a food analogy either. Okay? If I'm a seamstress or a person that makes clothes, that's my job. My job is to make clothes. That's it. So if you're an artist that makes clothes for digital characters, that's your job. Just saying. If you don't like your job, then don't do your job. Let someone else that wants to do the job do the job.
Marvel fan you are, there is
Russ Nickel, he's working hard, Reese.
a character in here for you, and I really like that, and I'm very interested to see how some of these characters are going to play. Cloak and Dagger, for example, they're the only duo character in the game. They even separated Rocket and Groot. I'm assuming Cloak and Dagger is going to be like an off.
Dave Rose is on, man. I played Rivals over the weekend. The game is awful. It has serious balance issues. Which I said when they first showed it, Rose. I was like, there's going to be massive issues with the, and this is why I said there should be PvE in the game and not PvP, because the balance issues with this game, we talked about it with Kinger and Sarge on GXG, right? The balance issues are going to be terrible. And this is why I think they should put a PvE mode in this game, because I just want to play. I just want to be Hulk. I just want to be Hulk. I just want to be Wolverine. I just want to be the cool characters. You know what I'm saying? But because they want to make it PvP, they're going to be balancing, nerfing, buffing. It's going to be an absolute nightmare.
Offensive assassin type character. Dagger is going to be throwing tons of sharp objects and like stabbing people and cloaking.
Argus says the guy making the skins has their job cut out for them. All these cosmetics already exist. All they have already good character design. It should just be a piece of cake for you. Yeah. Let me see. What do I have to make? Let me go to issue 210 of 1994 and see what it is. I used Hulk a couple times. I enjoyed him. Once you understand that you have to keep, blocking, put your shield up, heal, then use your overdrive. I call it the overdrive, where you get super bulky, super hulky. It's a nice balance, right? Obviously, in this game, you have to communicate. If you're not communicating with someone, your team's going to fucking suck. This is why I played against the NPCs. Okay, you don't have to communicate with anybody. You just kind of feel the room type of thing. I'll tell you what, though. My favorite character, Soldier 76, or I'm sorry, the Punisher. I destroyed the entire team. Obviously, I'm playing against NPCs, but they didn't even get to move the chariot. When I was defending, they couldn't move the thing forward. And then when I was attacking, where we had to move the cart, I just destroyed everyone, and the cart went right through. Okay? Like, Punisher's going to get nerfed to the ground because of his bullets and whatnot. There's massive balance issues because of the team-up moves, right? If Rocket Raccoon is on your team and you're the Punisher, and he stands next to you, you can have unlimited fire. You can wipe out the entire team if you're good.
Is going to be her abilities and her mobility, where she's going to be able to like teleport around and turn into a shadow and move real fast. I think that's going to be pretty interesting. Personally, I'm the most excited for like Winter Soldier and Blade. I will say I think this roster is pretty weak if you're an X-Men fan. There's not even that many like X-Men adjacent characters. Like Deadpool is nowhere to be seen. And that's kind of surprising to me. I guess they didn't know how popular X-Men 97 was going to be.
If you get headshots with Punisher with his gun, or anybody with guns, you could two-tap anybody. It's not just Hela.
When they planned for all of these characters.
This game is going to be the next hot commodity for the next month, whenever it comes out. Other than that, in my opinion, unless they make massive changes or they put a PvE game mode in here, it's going to die off really fast.
I mean, I guess Scarlet Witch counts as X-Men adjacent, and we've got Magneto, we got Storm, we've got Magic.
And you know what the funny part is? The Overwatch fans wanted a PvE mode. They've been asking for years. Now you're taking the Marvel brand and you're marketing towards the Overwatch people. The people that have been asking for a PvE content for that game, and now you're giving them a Marvel game with no PvE content. Again, unless they say otherwise, I feel like they're making the exact same mistake that Overwatch did only 5-6 years later.
And now we're gonna get Wolverine and Psylocke. That's not a terrible selection, but it definitely could be better. I'm hoping we start to see characters like Cyclops, Jean Grey, Iceman, Deadpool, of course, characters like that, Rogue and Gambit as well in future.
It's all right, Krebsy. I don't give a shit. They can come for me. I don't care. They can also leave a comment section down below. Please share, like, and subscribe.
Beta builds when we get more characters, and that's the exciting thing. We're already at 39 characters in the files, and this is the very beginning of the game. We're at the first public closed alpha. Isn't that crazy? Overwatch just added their 40th character, and that game is 8 years old.
Yeah, great. It's 8 years old and they had 40 characters. Great. Marvel needs 40 characters at launch. And then add an additional 40 characters within the first 2 years. They should be at 80 characters in 2 years.
Dude.
In my opinion. But it probably won't even be around for 2 years.
I am in my mid-20s. My back hurts. I'm tired. And when Overwatch...
Mid-20s and your back hurts. Kid, get out, man. What are you doing? Did he just say he's mid-20s and his back hurts?
Mid-20s. My back hurts. I'm tired. And when Overwatch came out, I was in high school. I was a teenager. That's how long that game's been around, right? And it only just got to its 40th character. Marvel Rivals is already knocking on its boots.
Don't compare this to Overwatch with the characters, okay? Even when it hits 40 characters, just make a game. Make the game, but because it's Marvel, you have to have 40 characters minimum when it launches.
It's right on its heels, and Marvel Rivals is in alpha. Not to mention a game like Valorant that Marvel Rivals is already passing, which is insane. Now, do take all of this with a grain of salt, of course. None of these characters have been officially revealed, so one or two of them could get scrapped in favor of someone else. Maybe Jeff the Shark doesn't work, but Jeff the Shark, by
I gotta look this up. I don't know who the fuck Jeff the Shark is.
the way, that's a character I think is the most exciting here.
Is it? Is Jeff the Shark like...
But Jeff the...
Is Jeff the Shark like Marvel's version? You know what I mean? I don't understand.
Shark, by the way, that's a character I think is the most exciting here, because we already knew with the inclusion of Luna Snow and Penny Parker that we weren't going to be just limited to the popular guys. So if you like...
Is Jeff the Shark King Shark of Marvel? Is that what it is? Are they ripping each other off this bad?
A lesser, more obscure character, then that's dope. You have a chance. But even if you like a character like Lockjaw, who isn't human-shaped, you have a chance, thanks to Jeff the Shark. And I think that's incredible. You truly can just ask for anyone, pitch any moveset you want, drop any concept you want, and your character could very well get into the game. And I'd love if you guys would tell me what obscure characters you want in the comments. Like I said, Sister Grimm all the way, dude. And just as one last side note, if you like the music that's been playing...
Krebsy's like, Jeff the Land Shark is basically a shark. I gotta read it in Krebsy's personality. He's just like, Jeff the Land Shark is basically just a shark that can walk on land. That's about it.
Playing under my voice that is honestly way too epic for a video about a data mine for a video game. That is just the main menu theme for Marvel Rivals. That's it. The main menu goes this hard. And if you would like to listen to it without my dumb nerdy voice all over it, then I did upload an extended version of that just selfishly so I could have it to listen to while I game or while I edit. And of course I figured if I'm going to upload it privately, I might as well publish it so you guys can hear it as well. So in the end cards of this video, there will be like the music. And with all that said, dude, we're going to be playing this game this weekend. We're going to be playing it on Friday. I'm so pumped. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos about...
Okay. Good video. He's excited. He's got back problems, but he's excited. I thought he was making a joke, like he's got back problems for putting all the weight of like Overwatch on his back or something. But no, he's young and he's got back problems. You gotta get that checked out. I'm being dead serious. If you have back problems at 25, you're, like Sarge said, you're doing it wrong. Okay. There's some good stuff with Marvel Rivals, and there's bad things about Marvel's Rivals, right? I did enjoy my time playing Marvel Rivals. Like I said, I have 3.5 hours in. I played one match online. All the rest I played offline against NPCs, okay? This game, I'll stand by what I said a month ago, okay? Lives and dies, okay? Lives and dies with the amount of characters they bring into the game, okay? They have to have a PvE in this game, right? They have to have PvE. You know what? I'm gonna go to my my channel real fast. Let me find out what I said a month ago. I forget what I said a month ago. So we're gonna go back and watch. This is on April 4th. Okay, so about a month and a half ago. This is when they first showed it to us. So let's hold on. Let me bring this up. Let's see what I said. The next story I want to talk about is Marvel Rivals is missing characters is a serious head scratcher. Now, we talked about this when they showed up the video last week, right? And that's a year younger me. That's 45-year-old me. Man, look at the aging process that happened. I said, I don't care that, Penny Parker's in there, and I don't care that Magic's in there, like, or lesser known characters are in there. I'm always wondering though, like, I was like, why isn't Wolverine there? Why isn't someone else there? And someone could be like, well, they're always there, but they're not. They're never there. Like, those characters never make it to the actual game until later on by the time the game, like, die. This game, to me, lives or dies just like any other Marvel game, okay? Any other, I should say, comic book game, by as many heroes or villains that you can either have, use, or fight. This article comes from Game Rant, and it says, Marvel Rivals missing characters are a serious head-scratcher. It says, Marvel Rivals is arriving on the... You know what? Let me fast forward to the part where I... As much... Green Goblin. They're talking about Venom. They're talking about Mysterio. They're talking about Hela. Hell, put Sinister in there as well. Right? Marvel's iconic Rogue Gallery is also nearly as much representation as it deserves in the Marvel Rivals. Green Goblins in particular would be a great addition with the bombs and the glider. Perfect match. I wouldn't say fine wine, but game's destructible environments. Venom would also be excellent, right? You could put there's so many characters you could put in. Doc Ock, can you imagine Doc Ock with all the arms and stuff? I mean, come on, right? So similar to Mirage and also Apex Legends, perhaps. Elsa would also finish off the siblings, the trio of Odin's children, while also having the strength of the Dark Mighty lead to some heavy DPS. Another character, right? Another character. Wolverine, Deadpool, Moon Knight, Daredevil, Winter Soldier, Captain Marvel. These characters, you look and go, why wouldn't they be in the game? Now, you can look at this and say that, well, these characters are all going to come. They're all going to come down the line because there's so many characters. But the problem is if the game is not successful, right? Let's just say it how it is. If Marvel Rivals comes out and it's a hot topic for that first week, month, whatever. Man, look at me. I even said that a month and a half ago. And then it drops off. And then you don't see these characters, like, just the top characters, right? Just these Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, and Wasp. Okay, let's say the game comes out in the alpha comes in May. Let's say it launches in like July or August or whatever. Okay, it comes out this year. If they have one character a month, okay, to add to this game, because look what Overwatch is doing. They don't add like 15 characters at a time. They're like, oh, here's one. Then 6 months later, they add another one. And over time, 6 years later, there's like 30 characters, right? But Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, and Wasp. That's 6 months. That's one a month to the thing. Then every time you add somebody, you have to like balance it. And then what happens is when you add a new character, everybody was going to go look at that and use that character because they want to know what it is. This is why this game needs more. Yeah, that's the. I'm gonna add to the point that I said a month ago. Okay, a month and a half ago, right? The reason you want to add as many characters as possible. I think I said this on GXG this past week as well, right? If you add 40 characters at the beginning, you'll have less people. You'll have more people trying to try more characters, try them out, okay? Where now, all of a sudden, let's say you have 20 characters. Faster, people will use those, be bored of them. Then you add the new character in. Then everyone's using the new character. If it's Wolverine, if it's Iceman, if it's Black Widow, whatever it is, everyone's going to be using. That's the meta, right? Where if you add a group of people, okay, and have more people to use, more people are still going to try to use those characters, get to learn those characters. And when you bring in new characters, you shouldn't bring in one character at a time. It should be minimum 3-4 different characters. And because Marvel can do this, because they have so many characters, that's what you want to do. You don't want to slowly drip feed these out because you don't know if this game's going to catch fire or not. You don't know if this is going to be like a Helldivers or if this is going to be a Babylon's Fall. Right? You have no idea. More heroes at launch. Now, again, the game's not even out yet, right? The game's not even out yet, so we don't know what they're going to put into the game or not. But how do you not have Wolverine? Especially if this game's coming out. This year, we have Deadpool movie coming out. Wolverine's in there. Deadpool's in there. Deadpool should be there. They have X-Men coming out in theaters. Regardless if Marvel's included into this, and Marvel gave them the rights to use this, and you would think that Marvel would want to promote the things that they're coming out either on TV shows or movies or comic books or cartoons or whatever, cross-platform or cross-promotion with the characters that are in the game. Now, right, Rose, this is why I'm saying like 3 or 4, right? Because every time you bring characters in, you bring in a new defense, offensive, and healer. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, Captain Marvel just left the theater, so you're probably not going to... Don't bring in like a healer, and then the following month bring another healer. And then the following month, bring a fighter, then another healer. You know what I mean? Put her in there, and she's not really a popular character, but she's a well-known character, and she would be a really cool character to use in this. Winter Soldier, same type of thing, right? If you're not gonna put Winter Soldier in the game before you put Captain Marvel in the, or I'm sorry, Captain America in the game, right? But Daredevil would be cool. Deadpool's coming out. You could put him. Dolphin. Don't be one of those guys, dude. Don't be one of those guys. It's only a beta, bro. How many games came out that in beta is the exact same game that came out in full gold? Come on. Come on. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, man. Okay? The game's the game, and that's the game when it comes out. Him in the game. Wolverine's coming out, right? So the game's coming out next year for the standalone that have wanted in the game since Marvel Rivals rumors began. Wolverine should be noted in particular here. He's definitely one of the most Marvel's biggest names. Deadpool and Moon Knight also share meme status, okay, and uplift them to fame to the pair of the identify to grab attention of NetEase over there. Now, they need to do, again, I know it's not even out yet. They're signing up for the early access or whatnot, but they only showed, what, the 18 characters? This game needs to launch with double that. And I said that last week when they first showed it. I said this game needs to double whatever they have. If they have 18, make it 36. Make it an even 40. You agreed with my younger self, 40 minimum. That's what you have here in the Marvel brand, because you could literally drop in a whole group at one time. Instead of releasing one character at the same time, like if they did, right? If they did come out with, let's say, Ant-Man and Wasp, I'm glad I'm on the same page. I forgot what I said a month and a half ago. So maybe they drop them both at the same time. Maybe they drop a whole group at the same time. Maybe they drop 4 players at the same time. That would be much more interesting than one a month, one every 6 months. Right? I always find it weird that all these companies that have these Marvel IPs, the DC IPs, they like slow drip all of these characters, and they have the vast amount of characters they can use in the DC universe or the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the Marvel just universe, right? There's literally like 1,200 characters, 1,800 characters, and yes, some of them are obsolete and they're not, you know, popular, but at the same time, there's so many. There's like easily 200 characters that people would love. You could put the whole Guardians of the Galaxy team in here, okay, at one time. You could take Ant-Man and the Wasp. You could bring Shang-Chi in here. You could bring the Eternals in here. You could bring a whole bunch of characters, and it would be a lot better and more interesting if you could do that. But then again, this game is going to be a nightmare to balance because of all these characters. And maybe that's why they're not putting certain characters in, because they're like, well, this rock is too powerful for these scissors, right? These scissors are too powerful for this paper, right? Because that's what this game is. It's a rock, paper, scissors match of how do you get around and defeat these and balance them with each other. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours. Yeah, so I said basically the same exact things I said a month and a half ago. There's a lot to this game I like, and there's also a lot that I don't like. What I like about it is the art style. Love the art style. I thought the art style and the menu system's the way it is, and when you highlight over the character, they like pop out of the stuff. Let me see if I can let me bring it up. Close this. Let me open up. Can I still play it? Is it still available? Or is it closed down? Okay. Still available? Okay. My camera's going to slow down a little bit until the game pops in. All right. So let me go to... Okay, like when you highlight this, right? I really like how whoever did the art design or the art style of this, okay, it's fantastic. I think the art direction of this game is great. Okay, I love how this all pops out. The menu systems are fantastic. Okay, I like the way the characters look. The characters look fantastic. Okay, now it tells you like the team ups and stuff, right? So you can see who's the good team ups are. Okay, some of this, what I don't like about it, is that obviously the balancing in this game is going to be an absolute nightmare. What's going to happen in this game, and you guys can defend it all you want, but this is what's going to happen. Okay. The problem with this game is that because the team ups are happening in the game, they're going to be overpowered, and if, obviously, skill-based, just skill. Like, if I'm really good at the Punisher and someone else is Rocket Raccoon, you're going to be indestructible, right? If you're with Hulk or whatever, and you team up with Iron Man or Doctor Strange, you could be unstoppable. It's overpowered, which on one side feels good because you are a superhero and you should feel that way. But I can see people going towards certain things, and this happens with all games. The problem with this is it's going to feel a little bit more OP, okay? So you're going to have these 20 characters, you're going to have these 30 characters, or maybe you have these 40 characters when it launches, and the majority of the people are going to lose the 5 or the 10 of the 40, and that's going to be bad, okay? Because you want this to be, if you want people to buy your microtransactions, you're going to have a well-balanced game. Okay, but you also have to have it fun. Again, this all balances on PvP. Okay, if you make a PvE game mode in this, you're going to have a better success, in my opinion, with this game, because the people that get frustrated with the PvP aspect of it, and they're like, I don't want to play because it's just OP. You want people to move towards the PvE and play the characters, level up their characters, and do whatnot. Right? The problem what Overwatch had is the stuff that they wanted to add, leveling up the characters, doing the PvE single player type of stuff. That's what this fan base wants. Now you're having Marvel fans come into a game, okay, that maybe didn't even play Overwatch because they didn't like Overwatch because of the generic characters over the years. They're just like, I just don't like the characters, don't like the stories or whatever. But now you're taking, and remember, we've had conversations in the past where if you take a game that nobody likes or certain people like, but then you put an IP that you like on it, all of a sudden it becomes a completely different game, right? Destiny, you put Star Wars on it, people will like it better than if it was just Destiny, right? Marvel, you put it into Destiny game, people would like it more, right? Now you take an Overwatch. I'm just putting it how it is, right? Yes, it's different than Overwatch, but at the same time, it is Overwatch, third-person Overwatch, okay? Back the camera up, you look at your characters. People wanted to play Overwatch, they wanted PvE, they wanted this type of stuff. Now you're putting Marvel here, and now people that never were interested in Overwatch will now try this game out. But they'll leave real fast because they didn't like Overwatch for certain reasons. If it was the way it looked, the way it played, because of the IP itself. And there's a lot here for Marvel fans, right? You can do a lot of stuff with this game and have this fantasy of you get to be Loki, you get to be Doctor Strange, you get to be all these characters. But the problem with this is that if PvP is unbalanced, they're going to drop it like third period French as fast as possible, okay? They're not going to play this game longer than a couple of weeks. Okay, the only time they'll come back is, oh, they have Wolverine in the game? Let me try Wolverine. And that is the catch they want people to come back into. But again, if the balancing, okay, is bad, then this game's not going to go very far. Because it doesn't matter how pretty it is. It doesn't matter how many characters you put in the game if the gameplay itself doesn't feel balanced. Now, going into the actual gameplay and whatnot, can I look at... I thought there was a way to look at your past... home here. I thought you could look at your highlights. Okay. Let me show you. Let me show you some of my highlights that I have. Okay. I don't even know which one it is, right? We're just going to look at some of the highlights of me being the Punisher. Is it going to play? It's getting it from the cloud. You got to give it a second. Okay? I'm literally destroying, and I understand I'm playing against NPCs and whatnot. Okay? But the Punisher is literally just nuking everybody. Now, I get it. If people are playing the game, right? I'm just taking out people left and right. Hold on one second, because it's right. Just nuking everybody, right? And that's a problem. The balancing issue is going to be a massive problem. The meta will suck. Yeah, Spider-Man isn't like Insomniac's Spider-Man. Game sucks. I'm joking, but it's an actual argument some people have. Yeah, it's stupid. I'm not even going to... I saw what you're talking about, Krebsy. I want the devs to actually balance a competitive PvP team shooter. Yeah, it's never going to happen. Now, obviously, I love this fucking animation style, man. As a Marvel fan, I love everything about what they're doing here, right? I love the style of it. Okay, I love this is when you go into your like ultimate, right? You get the ultimate where you turn in from Bruce to Hulk, and then all of a sudden you go into Monster Hulk, which is pretty cool. It's a short time period, but it's cool. I love the different things that they've done. They have the cosmetics and whatnot. You know, bravo to them, right? It looks cool. They do an amazing job on the actual character model of what it is, right? Some of the skins and whatnot. I mean, look at this. You imagine a Marvel's Avengers game with the art style of this instead of what we got, where they had to make it look like real characters, right? I did PvP one match, Dolphin, one match, and I completely owned the entire team when I was the Punisher, right? I was melting people with Storm, and I was melting people with the Punisher, especially when the person on the team had Rocket Raccoon as our teammate. Okay, this is going to be an absolute nightmare to balance. Yeah, the first couple of games I played with PvP, and I was just like, I'm okay. I want to play PvE. I just wanted to play the characters and get to level 6 so I could try to get a code out to people. But then the code didn't work because it was first come, first serve basis. Now, if you like the game, you like the game. I'm not trying to shit on your parade, right? I'm just talking real, okay? Overwatch had massive balance issues, hence why less and less people started playing it over the time, and then the people that wanted to play it wanted to play single player. Now there's a game coming out 7-8 years after Overwatch came out that's trying to take the Overwatch player base, right? And they're trying to do the exact same thing Overwatch already did. They did... The best part about this game is the character models. Character models look phenomenal. Right? The dialogue during the matches with Groot saying, I am Groot, 1,000 times, that gets on your nerves a little bit. Same banter going back and forth. I'll give that an easy pass because maybe they don't have all the dialogue inside the game and whatnot yet, but you hear a lot of the same stuff over and over and over and over. I do like the interaction between the two characters. Certain people on the teams, they talk to each other and banter back and forth with each other. Those are pretty good. Oh, I want to see something real quick with him. I want to see his other cosmetics. Right? They did a really good job. You see the physics happening with the scarves and whatnot. Right? I like Doctor Strange's makes a portal that you can go through or do the whole team. You control your team if you really wanted to. You could do a bunch of different stuff. There's a lot of... When I first started playing, there's a lot of back and forth of block. You're not doing any damage to anybody until you get the openings, and then it's like a boxing match a little bit. You're like wearing down your opponent, or waiting for someone to do certain things, and nickel and diamond, which is Overwatch, what Overwatch did, right? Right. Again, they've done a phenomenal job. I'm telling you, man, this game would benefit if they made a PvE mode in it, or some story mode like Kingery was talking about, like they did in Injustice and whatnot. Okay. This is a game I'll play a little bit here and there, but I won't jump into it, even though it's Marvel. Right? People are going to come back to play really cool with the cosmetics and with the characters. And again, I'm going to go back to it. I'll beat it till it's dead. You got to put as many characters in this game as possible to have a best chance. Right? You have to lay down the foundation, but you also have to make it fun. And they're going to completely ruin it by, let's say, Hela, like Dave was saying earlier. They're going to have to nerf Hela. Everyone's like, oh man, I want to use Hela. And then all of a sudden they nerf it. And they're like, okay, great. Right? You're nerfing characters, not weapons. And the weapons are the characters. There's a difference between your character and nerfing a gun and then a character that you nerf, because you'll never use that character again, right? There's plenty of guns that you won't use again, but there's guns. The guns are the characters. The weapons are the characters. So if you nerf Hulk or buff Hela or nerf Hela, you're killing a huge chunk of your player base that likes that character or whatnot. So that's a major issue. That's pretty cool. Look at that cape, man. I would also wait for this to come on console. I wouldn't play it on PC. It would be too sweaty. Too sweaty on the PC. Oh, that was cool. Hold on a second. Look at this cosmetic of her. Look at this. This is badass. Iron Man looks cool. Then you got the steampunk Iron Man. Already unlocked Spider-Man's next cosmetic. There's a $29.99 Spider-Punk. Again, they've done a fantastic job with this stuff, man. Magneto, he's pretty OP as well. Another thing I like is you mentioned it a little bit earlier, the destructible environment. And then what I also like, at least in the board that we're playing during the alpha, Loki makes and projects like the bridges back or the walls. So like the world changes as you play it, which is actually pretty cool. I think that's a nice little thing they've added as well. And a lot of these characters are literally just ripped off of Overwatch. Like, 100% this is Diva. But Hulk is also Diva. Okay? Like, the way the character acts and does stuff, right? And it's only going to be as... Look, I said the exact same thing about multiverses, right? Multiverses is the exact same problem Okay, the exact same problem with multiverses. Because multiverses, you need as many characters as possible with the WB. I said this when it came out. You can rewind that from a year ago. Okay, I talked about how multiverses need as many characters as possible, and they're doing that. They're adding more characters. But the balance issues they were changing and nerfing and balancing and all the stuff was so bad that they literally stopped making the game being able to play, shut it down for an entire year. It's coming back at the end of this month to make those changes. Okay, now what's the difference? What's the difference if this game comes out and does the exact same thing as the other ones? Do you know what I mean? There's a major issue. The balancing with these characters, look, especially like Dave Rose earlier said, like Hulk should be destroying everybody, right? But obviously it's a video game. And in the comics, Hulk would just be the strongest and keep getting stronger and getting angrier and just destroying everybody. Okay, but there's certain moments in the game that you're like, all right, cool. The pacing of the game is also kind of slow. That's another negative side that I don't like about it. Certain characters can get back into the action pretty fast, but other characters are super slow getting back into the action, and it's kind of off-putting a little bit. It's super slow. Spider-Man can swing in. Star-Lord's got a little like a booster. Punisher has like a grapple hook, but it's not as good. Not as just a lot of people have this like really slow, like if you die to get back into the action is super slow. Unless your team puts a marker down. I think Rocket Raccoon has a thing where he can put something down and you can spawn there. Yeah, Overwatch has that problem too. Here's what I'm getting at. Easy, right? Here's what I'm getting at. They literally have the exact same problems Overwatch had in every single way, with no improvements besides the art style and the fully destructible environment. Well, not fully destructible, but destructible environment on their maps. They've made all the mistakes that Overwatch made, including not adding a PvE, not adding enough characters, okay? The exact same Overwatch problems they have, and they did it again. But yet it's coming out like that. Instead of fixing the problems that they already had with Overwatch, and they learned over 6 to 7, 8 years, and saw how the evolution was, instead they came out with the exact same problems, and I'm blown away by that. Like, it boggles my mind. How do you put a game out like Overwatch? Let's call it what it is. Okay? Third-person Overwatch with Marvel characters and make the exact same mistakes that Overwatch has made before you even came out. 8 years. This game didn't take 8 years to make. God, I hope not. I hope this game didn't take 8 years to make. Kinger, are we playing Overwatch tonight? We're not playing Overwatch. We're not playing Marvels either. I enjoyed my time with the game, but at the same time, I enjoyed it because I'm a Marvel fan. I didn't enjoy it because it's an Overwatch clone. Easy says the only thing worse than how COD won't do anything ever new ever. Yeah, fixing games doesn't help. Might be a copy pasta Overwatch game that sells you right move, bro. I mean, I get it, Sarge, but to make the exact same mistakes that your other game made before you, like not even changing it a little bit, the exact same problems that were in Overwatch are in this game as well. But you're gonna have people defend it because it's Marvel, because they're having fun, which is fine. But dude, you can play Overwatch right now, and Overwatch would be a more well flushed out game. Just you don't have Marvel characters, and that's the swinging vote right now, right? You're like, well, I like it because it's got Marvel characters. I get to be Hulk. I get to be Punisher, even though Punisher is Soldier 76, even though Hulk is Diva, even though Storm is, insert here. I'm just, I don't know. I get it. Problems are the same, but did it sell when it was sold broken? Yes. Yeah. Remember, Overwatch was supposed to be a free-to-play game. Overwatch was supposed to be a free-to-play game when it came out, and then they charged $40 for it. I think actually they charged $60 for it, didn't they? On console? Let's see. I don't want Overwatch. Okay, Overwatch was a 2016 team-based multiplayer first-person shooter game. It was on PlayStation 4, Windows, and Xbox One in May of 2016, and Nintendo Switch in October 2019. Let's see, Overwatch. No, gameplay, plot, no, development. They had 14 characters available at launch. A closed beta period Overwatch across all 3 platforms began on October 27, 2015. The closed beta was put in extended break in December and brought back in February of 2016. Following the March 2016 release announcement, Blizzard announced the open beta period from May 5th to the 9th for any registered user of Battle.net. The open beta provided popular Blizzard reporting 9.7 million players participating as a way of shooting it. Okay. What was the price when it came out? Sales the week it launched reported over 7 million Overwatch players with a total playtime of 119 million hours. Was it 40? I could have sworn it was 60, but I think that might have been 60 with something I added on to it, Krebsy. At least Overwatch had original characters. Sure. And this is another thing. This is why that when Marvel comes in, again, if this game came out at the hype of Marvel's Avengers Endgame and when Marvel was still what Marvel was and not what Marvel is today, two different things, right? Who knows? In a world where if Marvel Rivals came out the same time as Overwatch, who would have won? I think if you launched it back in 2016, these two games came out at the exact same time, I think Overwatch would lose. Just because of the hype of all the Marvel stuff that was happening on back then. But I have to admit, the gameplay in Overwatch 1, I feel is better than what Marvel's Rivals is on day one. I agree, Argus. I've said this in the past. I think if you know an IP, you're going to like that game more just because of the IP characters that you know. Right? Here we are. I played Warframe. I have almost 100 hours in Warframe. But if Warframe was Transformers, which it's going to be, I think I'm going to be more interested in Transformers Warframe than I am Warframe. Warframe's generic characters. Transformers is the characters I know. Right? I'm gonna play Warframe Transformers better than Warframe. Launched 40 on PC, console launched, aka Game of the Year edition, was $60. And that game was supposed to be free to play. It was supposed to be a free to play game when it launched. Sort of like Marvel Rivals. So we'll see how that turns out. We have no idea when this game is coming out. Right now, it just says Q1 or Q2 2025. Sounds quite the same as what we just. Hold on. What I just looked up, right? What did it say for Overwatch? Hold on, let me go back to the Overwatch Wikipedia. All right, Overwatch 2016. Wait, where was it? Beta test, and then went off to an extended break, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's do the math here. Okay. Closed beta period. You're using an alpha right now, playtest. Okay, for Marvel's Rivals. Overwatch across all 3 platforms began on October 27, 2015. The closed beta was put on extended break in December and brought back in February of 2016 following the March 2016 release announcement. And Blizzard announced the open beta period from May 5th to the 9th, and any registered users from Battle.net client. The open beta provide, right? What's happening right now? So you got this early access. It's going to go on a break. It'll come back early next year in Q1, Q2 of 2025. Right? And hopefully by that point, the game will be flushed out so it comes out in a better state than it is right now. I mean, that's the whole point of this alpha test, right? So you could give criticism to what's bad in the game compared to what Overwatch was, right? To not give criticism so they can make this game better a year from now is idiotic if they don't take the criticism. If I wanted to play Overwatch, I'd be playing Overwatch. I don't want to play Overwatch. I want to play your Overwatch game of Marvel Rivals with Marvel characters, but if you make the same mistakes as Overwatch, then I don't want to play Overwatch or your game. Geezy says, well, this brings up a point I have been making about the movie Avatar, and now it holds the record. It was the original story that no one knew anything about, and yet Marvel never broke it. This is a point I have been telling others, not stream, sorry, for not clarifying others. It irritates me that Avatar has the record. Has the record for what? Easy has been making about the movie Avatar, and now it holds the record. Holds the record for what? Avatar holds the record, or Marvel owns the record, holds the record? And you're talking about Avatar, James Cameron Avatar, not Avatar Airbender, correct? Well, technically, Avatar is not really an original story. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, but there's a lot that goes into around that number, right? Like Titanic was in the theaters for almost a full year. Yeah, Titanic was in theaters for 10 months, right? It ranks third of all-time box office list behind Cameron's 2009 Avatar. Avengers Endgame 2.9. The movie stayed in the U.S. theaters for almost 10 months. Endgame became the highest-grossing movie in history on July after 89 days of release. Avatar also was in theaters for a long time, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Avatar was in cinemas for 54 weeks. Was in theaters for over a year. So when to say that a movie beat another movie, there's a lot that goes behind than just saying it beat it. I'm trying to say they don't even tell you how long. Endgame wasn't in theaters. That wasn't anywhere near close to what Titanic and Avatar were. Well, I hear people say it all the time. It just pisses me off because I don't think it deserves any record. I think Marvel definitely deserves it. I mean, sure. I mean, Endgame. There's more people in the world compared to 1997. Also, Titanic. You already knew what the movie was about. So you already knew the ending. And yet, that's up there. And you saying that you don't think it deserves it, that's your subjective saying that because you don't like Titanic, I would assume, and you don't like Avatar, and you're a comic book fan, you think that Marvel deserves it, but Avatar doesn't. Also, I think the average ticket price during Titanic was like $5, if I'm not mistaken. Because technically, if you want to say the number one movie of all time, the number one movie of all time with inflation would go to Gone with the Wind. Endgame would end up 16th on the all-time list if you took inflation into this. So then, would you say that any of these 16 movies ahead of it don't deserve to be ahead of Endgame? Gone with the Wind, Star Wars Episode 4, Sound of Music, E.T., Titanic, Ten Commandments, Jaws, Exorcist, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Episode 7, 101 Dalmatians, Episode 5, Ben-Hur, Avatar. I want to put it in perspective, right? Gone with the Wind. Do you see how many tickets were sold in 1939? Do you see how many tickets were sold compared to tickets sold for Endgame? You see the difference? Endgame was not in theaters for over a year. I can promise you that, Krebsy. Avatar was over. We found that one. Go on, Chief. Yeah, no. Not even close. Not even close, Krebsy. Avengers Endgame came out April 26th of 2019. Came on DVD August 13th of 2019. Not even close. Yes, like 6 months. Not even, right? April 26th to August 13th. April, May, June, July, August. 5 months it was on DVD. Movies back then had legs. Movies now don't have legs. Titanic. Titanic came out December 19th of 1997. Titanic's DVD came out on August 31st of 1999. You don't understand the legs reference? Legs reference means that it goes longer. More people are interested to see that movie in theaters. When a movie loses steam, sort of like a video game comes out and it's the hot topic for Tuesday release and then nobody's talking about it in the following 2 weeks, okay? That has no legs. The legs are Skyrim, Grand Theft Auto, games that people still talk about and still play. That has legs. Avatar was in theaters for over a year. Titanic was in theaters over a year. Avengers Endgame was in the theaters for 5 months. I think one of the longest movies ever to be in theaters, I think, was My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Despite the budget of the $5 million, 5 million. 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 5 No. How many? How long? How many? No. How? Nope. Lasted 50 weeks. So just short. Titanic and then beat it by a little bit. Well, yeah, that's a different time. They didn't make movies as much as they do now, right? That's why when we looked up the top of all time, Krebsy, hence why The Sound of Music with inflation has 142 million right tickets. $142 million. Star Wars, $178 million. And then you have Gone with the Wind with $202 million. Yeah. Crazy. That's why with inflation, these movies will never be touched. This is on Box Office Mojo. And I don't think this is world. I think this is just domestic, if I'm not mistaken. All right, there you go. Worldwide, yeah. So this number right here is lifetime gross domestically, right? If you click on it, with inflation, worldwide, it's 402. And then with the inflation, it would be obviously... Yeah, because back then, movies had legs, man. You see a movie in theaters now, it's on the streaming service within 17 days. How the hell are you supposed to make money off of that? Right? This is why the whole collapse is happening with the movie theaters. Think about this in the movie sense compared to like Game Pass, right? The movie industry can't make it because they're taking their movies super fast out of theaters and putting them straight to your home because nobody wants to go to theaters. They just want to watch it at their house. Well, they can't make movies fast enough, and when the movie comes out, it's not making enough money, so they put it on the streaming service. They don't have enough streaming people, paying for the streaming service, so they go bankrupt. They go under, and they can't afford it because that's the content that they decided to put out there, right? So now, are you going to put $300 million into a movie, or are you going to put $50 million into a movie? I'll just take that same recipe and now put it in the movie in the video game industry. How? Right, and the only way they make money is one, offsetting the cost by advertisers to put in the movie, sponsorships, commercials, right? A whole bunch of different things they have to do. Because they're not making the money off of just the subscription service. It's not sustainable. Hence why movies push an agenda, because the people that are paying the money for the movies get to name the price and what they want to do. Same with video games. There's not enough sales going on, so where are they going to get the money from? They're going to get the money from the people that are investors that say, "Hey, I'll give you this money, but you got to put this you got to do this, you got to do that." Instead of just letting people make art and do the stuff they want to do, it goes into a whole nother spectrum. And when movies come out in theaters, why are you going to go to the theater to watch a movie when you know now that a movie comes in the theaters and in about 3 weeks later, if not 6 weeks later, it'll be on a streaming service, or you can rent it on Amazon, or or one of the other services. Go to Redbox if you want, right? Why would you go to the theater if you know 3 weeks later it'll be on your home TV? It'll be fine, though. It'll be fine. That's true. But people used to go to the theater to get entertained, but if the entertainment's going to suck, why am I going to watch it when I'll watch a shitty movie on a streaming service 3 weeks after it came out? Right? If you make a really good movie and you put it out there and you fund that movie to have legs, if it's a good movie and then you don't tell people it's coming out 3 weeks later and you put it in theaters and you leave it in theaters, right? Then you need people to go see it in theaters. And if it's a great movie, then people will go to the theater to watch it. But nobody has the balls to make a good movie that you must see in a theater. They want to make the biggest amount of money as possible, or no money as possible, okay? So it can get to your house as fast as possible, so no one watches it in theaters, and then nobody watches it at home either. Because nobody cares, because it's a shitty written script. Thirty just said it's all part of the show. The same thing they said during the air show when things were going horribly wrong. Right? Yeah, it's all part of it. Yeah. Nothing to see here. What's going on, Lurker? Last movie I watched was Oppenheimer. Did you watch it in theaters? Why am I live tonight? Well, we did a news segment tonight, Lurker, because one, my parents went back down south, so they left at like 4:30, and then because I didn't do a show this morning, I was like, let me do the news show this evening so I can catch up for tomorrow, and then we can just continue doing, news stories, new news stories throughout the week instead of catching back up. Right. Move along. Move along. Yeah, the last movie I think I saw in theaters was an animated movie. It was an animated movie. It was with ducks. I forget what the movie was called. Migration. That's what it was called. I think that's the last movie I saw in theaters. Migration. And that's just because the kiddo wanted to see it. I think we're gonna go see Garfield. In the next week or two. Doesn't it come out soon? Again, because the kiddo wants to see it. Oh, it's out. It came out. Oh, no. Release date, May 24th. There you go. May 24th. Speaking of animated movies, that Mufasa movie looks awful. Yeah. You mean the live action animated... How do they say it's a live action when there's not one fucking thing in there that's live action? It's all computer generated. It's an animated... You mean animated live action animated film? I'm late. Now I have to rewind. Oh, and by the way, the last movie I saw in theaters was Harry Potter 4, The Goblet of Fire on IMAX. The original when it came out, Lurker? The last time you went to the movies was 2005? Is that real? What, you're not going to see it? Are you talking about I'm not going to go see what's it called? My brain just shut off. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about right now. What movie we're just talking about in theaters? I can't even think about it. For fuck's sake. Oh, the Mufasa movie. Jesus. Yeah, I'm really excited about the Mufasa movie. My brain literally went just shut off. It was like, no, we're not watching that movie. I love movies, Argus. I used to go to me and my wife, what at the time was just my girlfriend. We would go to multiple movies a weekend. Called a brain fart? No, my shit just had a heart attack. My brain just hemorrhaged and just shut off. It was just done. My brain literally was like doo 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 doo. Like it was like one of those animated films where the bird was just going around like. Yeah, Mufasa. Yeah, it looks awful. Awful. Yeah. Oh, it's a live action animated. It's a, like, how can you even say that? This is a live action animated. Not live action. Live action would be like an actual fucking lion, and then you voice over the lion. A live action movie for Lion King would be like Milo and Otis. Okay? Milo and Otis is a live action animal movie. Okay? Lion King, not a live action. Right. It's a lie. Oh, that's what it is. The V is lowercase. It's a live. Right. It's a lie. Yeah. That's amazing. Freaking amazing. You guys gonna go watch the live action Mufasa? You mean the animated? Like the original? Only CGI instead? Yes, yes, it's a prequel. It's a prequel movie, so you know what that means, Mo. I wonder what happens in the movie. I wonder what happens in the movie. It's the Andor of Lion King. That's what it is. Mufasa is the Andor of Lion King. The fact that most memes these days are misspelled, I can see someone misspelling that. I have a question. If Lion King and Mufasa are live action, is Garfield live action? Yeah, I mean, it's animated. Is that considered live action now? Just remember, Clint Eastwood first credit was Revenge of the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Live action is relative. Yeah, but that was Creature from the Black Lagoon. Hold on a second. That's live action. That's dive action. Look for the zipper suit. There's no action. There's literally nothing happening. There's nothing live about it. In the Mufasa, like they're gonna peg me on this. Here, I'm just gonna we'll pause it on something. Does that look live action to you? Does that look live action to you? Or that? Or that? Or this? Does that look live action to you? Probably one of some of the worst CGI I've ever seen. I'll be honest with you. Looks fucking awful. Looks awful. Live action. This is live action. You know what's better live action than that? Here, watch this. This is better live action. Okay? Pete's Dragon is better live action than Disney's Simba, or I'm sorry, Mufasa. Okay? Come on. Good movie, by the way. Pete's Dragon. You love when they did that? Bring that back? You mean like the live action mixed? Tom and Jerry did it a couple years ago. Sonic did it, right? Mixed live action with the animated stuff. But to literally say that Disney comes out like, yeah, our live action Lion King. Do you think I'm fucking stupid? Do you think we're fucking stupid? They gotta think we're stupid, right? Here, so the Dinosaur from 2000 was more live action than these. It's actually used real setting, backdrops, only things animated were the characters. Oh yeah, like Space Jam and all that stuff. Oh, the Muppets. Any Muppet movie. That's live action. That's a real puppet being used in a real setting. Akuda Papa says 30? Yes. Yes, we are stupid. Here's a new rule. If you say live action for Mufasa, you're automatically banned. I'm not going to ban you. Just remove yourself from the chat and don't come back until you realize that it's not actually live action. Just remove yourself. If you're gonna use Mufasa and say that it's live action, just remove yourself. I don't want to ban anybody. Just ban yourself. Just remove yourself from there. Fucking live action. On that note. Yeah, they do. Yeah, if they say straight face tell you that Mufasa is a live action Lion King prequel, they think you're stupid. What about Amy? What's Amy? Is that a movie? Amy? You answer your own question. Hey, you want to see a live action? Here, look. We'll end this after this. Okay. This is from 1986. This is from 1986. Look, this is what a live dog looks like. And this is what a live cat looks like. Okay? Look, that's a real dog running. That's a real cat running. That's real grass. That's a cat running. That's a cat and a dog running. That's a cat and a dog walking across a log. Right? Fucking amazing. Look at that CGI. Oh, wait. That's not CGI. That's an actual rabbit. That's an actual dog in water. That's an actual cat. That's an actual cat hitting a bird. That's an actual dog chasing a frog. We are so gone from the world of that we used to live in. Okay? Look at this scene, right? This scene right here. This scene right here. They took an actual cat and put it in an actual box and put it in an actual water and took the shot. There is no CGI in this shot. This shot, because there's no way they took a cat and shoved him over the waterfall. A little bit of, not CGI, more like, what's it called? I forget, but my brain is not, but matting, right? A little matting going on here, which you could tell. Oh. No, I actually think they took a cat and shoved him off the waterfall. I think they actually took a cat and shoved him off the waterfall. They did. Yeah, I think they did. What a great movie. Great movie. I'll watch that next weekend with my son. Now that I've completely ruined my whole stream by showing all this stuff, half of this stuff at the end will have to be cut off. Yep. Pre-PETA. No cats were harmed in the making of this. Is that true? Is that true, Kingard? Rumors are heavy about animal abuse in Milo and Otis, though nothing proven, but allegedly 20 dead kittens. All right. Oh, you're good. This is exactly what my stream is about. Easy. It's exactly what this is. Fallout 4 runs better on a new update, and mods aren't broken either, but better. Oh, did they have another update? Did they come out with another update, Gaming Fire? Well, that sounds much better, Rebsy. It's only like one. It's only like one family of cats. That sounds much better than what Kingard said about 20 dead kittens. Yeah, one's lower than 20. Yeah, that sounds much better. Well, shit. Now the stream ends with 20 dead kittens. No, allegedly. Allegedly. And we narrowed it down to one. One family of cats. Yes, it says here, the organization also reported, we have tried through humane people in Japan, although there's another Japanese producer to determine if those rumors are true, but everything has led to dead end. Well, if you can't prove it, yeah, Kinger's like, thank you and good night. 20 dead kittens. They haven't proved it. Oh wait, this is great. I just found this. This is fantastic. We're going down the rabbit hole here, folks. I just found this. Okay, these are. Let me. I was gonna end it, but we gotta end it. I want to make this a little bit better. Okay. These are parent reviews of the Adventures of Milo and Otis. Okay. Okay. Something that's so innocent. It's an adventure of a cat and a dog. Okay? Here we go. Awful animal abuse. We tried watching the first few minutes of it with our daughter, and it's chock full of animal abuse. How awful! They just look at it from a perspective. You just tell them it's CGI. Just tell them it's CGI. Good but bad. This movie is so touching, and I love it as a child. But as a movie, when I was made for animal cruelty, and it's just unacceptable. It was so disappointed and shocked when I heard and saw what this movie did. You mean tell a story? Don't let your kids see this. Some of the animals died during production. But it looked so benign. Like so many families with several kids. We went hunting last weekend for a movie. Oh, I thought they went hunting. I was like, what do they have a problem with then? If you're taking your kids hunting, you shouldn't have a problem. A difficult task when balancing the needs of a 5-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 14-year-old. After some deliberation, we selected The Adventures of Milo and Otis. It was rated G, which it is. Had a reasonably strong user review rating, and I thought, how bad could this be? It's not bad. It's literally a really good movie. Who couldn't relax and enjoy 80 minutes of what assumed would be banal cut cuteness, okay, with the G rating? And we didn't bother looking it up in Common Sense Media, which also gives a high rating. First off, this movie is particularly from storytelling standpoint, okay, it's not half bad. The characters get I'm losing it because it's small print. Hold on a second. Okay. With the G rating, we didn't even bother looking at the Common Sense in the media. When you think of it, we made through the worst. The next bugbear, sometimes a real bear, rises up to alarm us. And then when about 1.5 of the way into the movie, as I grew more and more discomforted by what I was watching, my 11-year-old said, just how many kittens did they have to kill to make this movie? I can just see that. My son's 9 and be like, how many kittens died making this? Expressing exactly what I was starting to wonder. I now wish we turned the movie off. But like happening accidents on the scene of the crash of glancing before realizing we should have looked away. We kept staring in our disbelief as horrors of the animal actors just became more horrifying. This sounds like a fucking horror flick. I kept thinking, wow, I can't believe the director did that. I can't get worse from this, can it? And it did. Over and over, beating us around the head with animal actors who appear to be real and actual danger, in which they are clearly in fear for their own well-being. I like a good horror or R-rated action movie, but I don't tend to share those movies with my kids. Since watching this film, I felt grossed out about it. As others have noticed, a kitten is dropped off a very high cliff into an ocean. A bear bites a cat's paw, and a bear smacks a dog's head. A kitten falls down a serious waterfall in an opening box. How many takes were needed? But why are you thinking of this? Why are you thinking of how many takes did it take? Did you think about that in other movies? Like, John Wick is killing a lot of guys. I wonder how many takes they did and how many people died. Like, did you think about that? I don't think you actually thought about that. I don't know. Call me crazy. Okay. Since watching the film, I felt grossed out. Already read that one. Okay. A kitten falls down a serious waterfall in an open box. Already read that. Okay. And with the painful moments as a backdrop, one wonders to what lengths the director went to other scenes which seemed so benign. If there was any animated story, or if it was just most painful moments were not really filmed but implied, this would have been a cute but enjoyable film. There's some interesting, even impressive moments between other animals and other protagonists due to the questionable treatment of the animals. The whole movie just ends up feeling uncomfortable. I've never written a bad review of a movie before, and I'm normally very, yeah, sure you are. Making films is no easy task, But like other commenters, I wanted to give a fair warning about this film. Holy Christ. I'll take things that didn't happen for 300. 20 kittens died, apparently. No kittens were killed. You can't take my childhood. I still think it's a good movie. 20 takes, apparently. John Wick didn't kill anyone, Mike. Those idiots killed themselves. I just don't understand. Let me get this straight. Man shoots someone in a movie. You don't ask any questions. You're like, nah, it's fake. Cat in movie gets hit with bear in head and like, how many cats died? It's a bit of a stretch. A bit of a stretch. I loved this film as a child, and when I learned how to do a research and found out the questionables this really is, legitimate animal abuse, a lot of it. This is sick. Criminal. But you loved it as a kid. Loved it. Loved it as a kid. 5 stars. So this person gave it a 5 star. It has its moments, but in general, I think it has a good age. I think this has aged poorly. I watched it with my 5-year-old and was thoroughly engaged in thrills, flows of the film. It was legit frightened for parts of the film where Milo's were physical in danger. However, I found that at the end of the film, it collapsed into the hero tropes that felt superficial. Didn't we? Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. I feel like we've been here before. Krebsy, didn't we do this like 6 months ago? Didn't something pop up like this? I feel like I've read this. I'm having like a deja vu moment. It's silly, but it's also went from the road trip film to marriage story. Also, a film unfortunately taken. Shake accuses of being reasonable for harming of an animal, and also, but this little thing sounds so familiar. Like we've done this before. Animals were tortured. Were they? I can't. Is there an actual thing? I gotta look this up now. I'm intrigued. Let's see. The Adventures of Milo and Otis were also looked upon controversially based on the report of animal abuse while it was being filmed. According to 1990s Australian newspaper report, more than 20 kittens were killed during the production of this. One cat's paw was intentionally broken to make it look unsteady when walking. I have a question. Are these just allegations, or did they actually prove this? This is pretty good, though. People are allowed to be mistreated. Don't you fuck with an animal. You will go down. So what you're saying is all we need is 20 lions and we can make a movie. Well, when you work with animal and children, this is why when you work with kids on the set, you need twins. Because they're really difficult to work with. And same with animals. Yeah, there's a lot of talk. Here we go. Fact check. Animals were used in making of it. Let's see. This is fantastic. I did not know we were going to go down this road of cruelty for Milo and Otis, and this all started with movies about how long they've been in theaters for, and then we went down the Mufasa route, and then we ended up here. Fantastic. Maybe it was a Stray. What about if they came up with a story where, well, these cats had cancer, and their last request was to be in a movie by Make-A-Wish? Would that be okay? Look, it says I watched John Oliver. The Olsen twins are not twins. It's just one girl moving very quickly. Let's see. Animation or CGI. The animal actors were allegedly exposed to danger, according to some claims. Died as a result. Claims, but they don't have it. Beloved 90s kids everywhere. The Adventures of Milo and Otis is about a pug Otis, who also... Okay. Friends. Okay, you're just telling me the same thing of the synopsis. Following the film's 1986 release in Japan and 1989 release in the USA, 15 minutes worth of scenes deleted. 2 articles in particular referenced as a source of abuse allegations. The first is an article on Sunday Mail, okay, in 1990, and also the other one was 1990, published. The Sunday Mail reported at the time of the animal liberation, Queensland founder alleged the killing of more than 20 kittens during the production, and added that she was disturbed by the reports from Europe. It was also alleged that other animals had been injured, as in one case where the producer allegedly had broken a cat's paw to make it apparently unsteady for its feet. Other scenes that were sources of controversy were also scenes of a kitten falling off a cliff. Yeah, we were, and the waterfall. Although multiple sites aside from the Dream Fiction Wiki include the Wikipedia page for Adventures of Milo and Otis Archive here and Stake Exchange Archive here, cite these articles, and were unable to independently find these articles on the internet or achieved otherwise. This does not mean the articles never existed. We primarily searched the newspapers.com and archive newspaper database. Several clips of archived papers can be found in which concerned readers also alleged abuse, with 2 examples below from 1990. Here's Exhibit A. I was very disturbed to see a recent advertisement for Columbia Pictures' upcoming movie, Milo and Otis. This children's film is about the adventures of a cat and dog. Okay. One scene where Milo plummets down a waterfall in a box, considering that the cats hate water. That's not true. See what happens? Cats actually don't hate water. This is the exact same. This is stereotypical. You guys are racist and sexist against cats because you think they're afraid of water. Okay? Cats actually love water. Okay? Just saying. They didn't know what they were talking about back then. Okay? Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. In one scene, Milo also cats plummets down a waterfall in a box, considering the cats hate water. I have to wonder about another scene in which the cat, probably more than one, it's a big assumption, falls off a cliff into the ocean, then climbs halfway up the cliff, only to fall back down. In another scene, Otis the dog wrestles with the bear and barely survives. There are probably several more dogs that didn't survive that scene. Again, these are big leaps. These are big leaps. I could go on. If you want more information, please call. Okay. That doesn't mean anything. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying you're taking big leaps with this. Radically downplaying the feral side of the nature, Milo and Otis offers a vision of natural world, and awesome, occasionally fearful, of never be terrifying. In 1989's New York Times review of the film, the nature of photography has almost beauty. Extraordinary close-up photography of Milo and Otis were portrayed by the assortment of look-alike dogs, cats during the 4 years it took to complete the film. 4 years. Fuck. Man. Disney doesn't even give that long with their movies now. Crazy. We received an application from a Make-A-Mal Foundation. Miraculously, we had 20 cats that specifically asked to be thrown down a waterfall. We couldn't have been more pleased with the timing. Yeah. Would have been interesting back then. We're like, hey, we need a cat to go down a waterfall. I have 20 cats for you. That's a one take. That's a one take. Wouldn't the bear also have a trainer too? Maybe they just got a rogue bear. You know, maybe they asked the bear first back then, who did he aligned with and what should they call him? And then they asked him, would you like to hit a pug in the head? They're like, yeah, I could show up. I could show up. What time? Like, I don't understand. Star Wars Rogue Bear. This all started with Lion King live action. I mean, that cat going down the waterfall looks real. You know why? Because it actually is a cat in a box going down a waterfall. And now I want to watch that movie even more, knowing that there's review bombing Milo and Otis because of not the movie itself, but potentially how they made the movie. I might buy a copy. And with that note, we've proven that there was no actual cats that died, but speculation. What is cheaper, throwing a real cat or CGI? Well, I could tell you a story. I won't name the film or the director, but I was on a set that 100% murdered some birds for a shot. Straight up. Director lost his mind, wanted an action sequence thing, grabbed I think it was a goose, if I'm not mistaken, and then chucked it in front of a bus. They paid the fine. True story. I want you to stream your son watching it. Give me a mic. I wanted to do something with my son, Geezy, actually, because he wants to get into like making reviews and stuff, like a podcast. And I said we should watch a movie and then me and him talk about it. Honest to God, we've been talking about it for months. I just don't know if I want my son visually on camera. We might just do a audio podcast of it. Good Papa says 30. You mean it destroyed a government spy device? Yes, it was a robot goose. It was a robot goose, 100%. It was Disney animated. It was an animated goose from Disney. Damn robot, can't even tell the difference now. That's what we'll do. We'll watch Milo and Otis, and then we'll give him a cat mask, and I'll be the pug. He'll be the cat. And then we'll ask him if he felt like he was threatened in any way. He watched Harry and the Henderson. He liked that one. I wonder if there was a person harmed making that, considering they hit him with the car. I wonder how many Sasquatches they got. I don't know. I didn't hear that. I wonder how many sharks they killed during the making of Jaws. How much chum did they put in the water? Was that real chum? How many fish died to make that chum? I mean, where do you go with this? Where do you go with this? Yeah, it's coming out next year, isn't it? Toxic Avenger? Right. Travis, you were gone longer than 5 minutes. And this is normal. This is par for the course. Exactly, Krebsy. Exactly. Doing a centipede with people in a movie? It's fine, because they know it's... They didn't ask questions, right? They're like, did they really sew that guy's mouth to his ass? Like, nah, it's fake. Cat in a box going over waterfall. They're like, I can't tell. I think there's some cruelty going on here. This happens a lot with the late night streams. Yeah, this is the late night streams. Questions about the fly. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. If you start to really think about, if people were like this in depth because of Milo and Otis, you got to start thinking about other movies in the past, right? Why just ask the questions about animals and not the actual people? Question. Did they really hang Tom Cruise outside the helicopter or the airplane? The answer is yes. That's fine. He knows what he's doing. Cat in a box going down a waterfall. They kill 20 cats. All right. On that note, remember, 20 cats were killed in the making of Milo and Otis. Have a good night. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock Eastern, for more gaming news, conversations. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you'd like to go above and beyond that. Become a member as little as $5. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your evenings. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.